Crush my core into a lake and mine the forum a step. I know there's better days. I will drown within this pain. I can't be alone. So what I want to wish all of you had for time. Now you found you can't rewind. We want to live while drowning still. You're secure on nothing.
Oh, hi, friends. Welcome to story time, whatever we got going on this week. My face looks not great. A hangover will age you pretty fast, I think. But I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. I found some. Just gonna do my curlers. Everything's gonna be great. You can see all of my family photos back here because, I mean, I don't know what grandmas do, but I'm going to assume it's just relish in their families. So, yeah, so we're reading Secret Agent Grandma today. I got some, nice bling and everything, you know. Can you guys hear me okay? Is everything good? I've got 2 bites of pizza left. Fueling your body is very important, so I'm going to hold this up so you can't watch me eat this pizza. Yeah, today's a lazy day, but I had time to decorate my house and put my friend here in this cute little muumuu dress. It doesn't fit me anymore, so I just have this real great jacket. I want to talk and eat at the same time, but it doesn't work very well. Thank you. I don't have very many photographs of my family or of anything, other than memes, but I've got one big Ziploc baggie, and so I put them up. This is me. This is me as a baby. So that's pretty cool, right? Yeah, hydration. You won't look like this if you hydrate properly. So can't go back once you're already there. So let's get this thing started. Sorry for making you guys wait. I just needed to fuel my body and draw some lines on my face because I just laid in bed almost all day. So that was real great. I had to go to the store and buy some curlers because, yeah. So, cool. Let's get this party started, you guys. Thanks for joining me for yet another amazing start to the weekend. Even though I have to work. No, I only work on Sunday. It doesn't count. So one more party today. So Secret Agent Grandma got. I gotta like center myself here. I feel like this is hard. Okay. We're doing this. Can't find a good spot, you guys. Like, okay. Yes, Mom and Dad are out of town, and your sweet old grandma is coming to take care of you. Are you ready for... You are ready for freedom, but are you ready for Grandma? The terror starts at the train station with two old ladies who both look exactly like your grandma. If you go after the grandma who's still on the train, you might end up battling aliens with eyes the size of ping pong balls, or jumping from a hovering helicopter. If you go home with the other grandma, we have one piece of advice for you. Stay out of the rose garden. Whatever that means. Cryptic messages. I'm just not pleased with my setup today. I apologize. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. And almost. We're good. We got this. Let's get started. Okay. Sorry I suck. Nothing is going to happen to me, you shout down at your mother. She gazes up at you from the bottom of the stairs. Her packed suitcases sit waiting by the front door. You recognize that worried look on her face. Do you remember everything I told you? She asks. Her forehead wrinkles in concern. Or should I write it down? Mom, I'm not a baby. You plop onto the top step of the staircase and repeat your instructions for the 5th time. I take a cab to the railroad station. I wait on the platform on the incoming side of the station. Grandma's train arrives at 1 p.m. I'll know her by the yellow stretch pants and purple shirt she'll be wearing. Then, if she hasn't been arrested by the fashion police for wearing such a wacko outfit, don't make fun of your grandmother, your mother cuts in. She's unusual, but I'm sure you two will get along fine. Your mother's right, your dad adds, coming through the front door. Your grandma's full of surprises. Yeah, sure, you think. How is some little old lady gonna surprise me? Your dad picks up the remaining suitcases and heads back out to the car. Your mother doesn't move. You flash her the most trustworthy smile. She sighs. I guess you'll be all right, she says uncertainly. Of course I will, you reassure her. What could happen? You follow your mom out to the car and wave as your parents drive away. The moment their car turns around the corner, you leap into the air. Freedom, you cry. No parents for a whole week. Just a 75-year-old grandma. She'll probably spend the whole time snoozing on the sun porch. You'll practically be on your own. The cab arrives and you hop in. You instruct the driver to take you to the train station. But as he nears the station, you have a pang of doubt. You haven't seen your grandmother since you were a little kid. You wonder if you'll recognize her. Worry until page 3. You may not recognize Grandma's face, you tell yourself, but you'll definitely spot her purple and yellow outfit. Besides, she'll know you from the photos your parents sent her. You pay the driver and hop out. Hey, that's weird, you think. Why was your name announced over the loudspeaker? You rush to the information booth inside the station, wondering what could be wrong. You just paged me, you tell the young man in the booth. You've got a call. He hands you a phone. Hello? There's a lot of static on the line. You can barely hear, but it's definitely your mom's voice. We're on the plane. Home immediately. What? I can't hear you, you shout at the phone. Do you want me to go home? What about Grandma? Danger. Grandmother. That's all you hear, and the line goes dead. Turn to page 108. A chill runs through you. What was your mother trying to say? Is your grandmother in trouble? Is there danger at the station? As you hand the phone back to the information clerk, the whole train station begins to rumble. Could this be what your mother was trying to warn you about? Should you get out of there and go home? Or are you supposed to find your grandmother? You're already scared. What? Okay, if you guys want to, I'm doing the same thing I do every week where I forget to set up the poll first. So this is where we're at. I'm struggling to get everything ready. This keeps happening and that's so frustrating. So in a second, you guys will be able to vote. We'll have 2 options, like usual. Yes. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, you guys. It's happening. It's happening. Okay, choose option 1 if you want to get out of there right away. Or choose option 2 if you stay to find grandma. Oh, thank you so much for keeping track of the time loops and endings, Ashley. You are the best. That will make my life significantly easier on this end. So let's just get some waiting music here, if I can get this all queued up. We got about 30 seconds left. The train station is rumbling, and we choose if we want to try and get home right away, or if you try and stay to find your grandma. Markers and paper. Excellent. 2 seconds left. It sounds like everybody wants to go with option 2. We're going to try and find grandma on page 33. You can't go home without your grandma, even if you feel as if you're in the middle of an earthquake. You clutch the information center counter to keep from falling over. You smile at the clerk, hoping to mask your fear. Train's coming, the clerk informs you, shouting over the noise. Every time one comes in, this station rattles like a baby's toy. I knew that, you fib. You hope the clerk doesn't notice how white your knuckles are. The rattling stops with a loud screech of brakes. You make your way out of the platform just as the door to the train opens. Mobs of people push their way out the doors. You scan the crowd, searching for an old lady in yellow pants and a purple shirt. No luck. Hey, what are you doing here? A voice calls. Turn to page 4. You're surprised to see your friends Chuck and Ginny running towards you. Hey guys, you greet them. I'm here to meet my grandmother. How about you? We're going to the hockey game, remember? Chuck tells you. I invited you. You remember, you couldn't go because of Grandma's arrival. Our moms are letting us take the train on our own, Ginny adds. Of course, we had to promise to stay out of trouble, Ginny giggles. As if. Have fun with Grandma, Chuck teases. They board the train. You sigh jealously as you scan the thinning crowd. Still no grandmother. Is this what your mother had been trying to tell you? That your grandmother wasn't coming after all? You're about to leave the station when you hear something that stops you in your tracks. Something terrible. What makes your blood run cold? Find out on page 86. Cookie! Cookie, over here! You shudder at hearing your old nickname. You hate that name. Luckily, Ginny and Chuck aren't here around to hear it. Cookie! You turn toward the voice. At the end of the station, you see a woman with white hair. She's waving wildly. No way to mistake her for anyone else. Not in those clothes. You wave back, approaching her cautiously. Anyone who would call you Cookie is likely to pinch your cheeks, too. As you stroll down the platform, something catches your eye. Bright red letters scrawled across one of the train windows. A message? If your mother hadn't made that strange phone call, you wouldn't have thought twice about it. But now you have an odd feeling. Maybe the message is meant for you. Read the message on page 100. You gaze at the train window. You read the red letters aloud. Emplay. Emplay, you mutter. What does it mean? Doesn't sound familiar. Maybe it's not an English word. That terrible nickname interrupts your thoughts. Cookie, I'm waiting for a big hug and kiss. Exactly what you were afraid of. Hi, Grandma. You stop several inches away from her, just beyond her reach. Wrong. Grandma throws her arms around you, squeezing you hard. So hard, you can barely breathe. Finally, she releases you. Cabs are at the other end of the station, you gasp, trying to catch your breath. Grandma follows behind you, chattering all the way. She asks about your school, your parents, and your mother's rose bushes. On the way out of the station, you pass the train window with the message again. I've got it, you think. I know what it means. Do you really? If you know what the sign says, turn to page 14. If you need help to figure it out, turn to page 129. I don't know. Would it help you guys to see the message that's on the window? That's the word. Does anybody know what it means? Emplay. Emplay. There's no votes. What are you voting for? Okay, somebody figured it out. Okay, cool. We figured it out. So, we are going to go to page 14. You know what the letters spell. It's so simple that you laugh at yourself for not getting it sooner. Emplay. Whoever wrote the message on the inside of the window didn't realize it would be read backwards on the outside. Emplay is help me written backwards. You say it out loud. What did you say, dear? Grandma asks. Do you need help with something? You're about to tell her about the message when something you see inside the train stops you. You stare past the letters on the window and into the compartment. Your eyes widen. You blink several times. You take a step closer to the window. Your nose presses up against the glass. You don't believe what you're seeing. What has you glued to the train window? Find out on page 98. You gaze at the startling scene through the window. Inside the train compartment, a woman struggles fiercely with two men. The men wear tan overcoats and large, dark sunglasses. But it's the woman that holds your attention. A white-haired woman wearing yellow stretch pants and a purple shirt. She's a dead ringer for your grandma. The two thug-like men yank her under each arm and lift her out of the seat. Her terrified eyes lock onto yours as she's dragged roughly into the aisle. The men pull her towards the door at the far end of the car. Hurry to page 54. Is something wrong? A voice behind you asks. You turn and face your grandmother standing on the platform. She and the woman on the train could be twins. What's going on? Is the woman really your grandmother? Or is your real grandmother in the terrible trouble on the train? Shouldn't we be getting a taxi, Cookie? You stare at her. Could you have made a mistake? All aboard, the conductor shouts. The train lets out an exhausted wheeze and then slowly pulls forward. You could jump on the train now and find out if that woman in danger is your real grandma, or you could assume the woman standing in front of you is the right woman. After all, she recognized you, and you didn't get a good look at the woman on the train. It's now or never. What are you going to do? If you leap aboard before the train pulls out, choose option 1. If you believe you found the right grandma already, choose option 2. Oh, I'm so itchy today. I'm sorry, I keep scratching. You're just gonna watch me scratch my face for the next 4 hours, so I hope you guys enjoy that. We still have 30 seconds left on the vote. If you want to jump on the train, choose option 1. If you think you found the right grandma, choose option 2. Oh, I forgot I was gonna drink out of this wine glass, like a like a fancy grandma. Okay. We got votes for 1. We're getting on that train, you guys. Cheers. We're going to page 110. If I can figure out how numbers work. You have to find out if that woman in trouble is your grandmother. Besides, you're dying to find out why those men in dark glasses were fighting with a little old lady and having such a hard time. The train starts to pull out of the station. You race down the platform, searching for a good spot to jump aboard. Your legs and arms pump hard, your muscles straining as you match the speed of the train. How are you going so fast, man? Cookie, come back here. What are you doing? Grandma's voice floats after you. If I'm wrong, you think, and the woman on the train isn't my real grandma, I'm going to be in big trouble. But you're not going to back out now. You take a deep breath and leap. Will you make it? Land on page 64. You land on the small platform between train compartments. You flail your arms as you struggle to regain your balance. Once you feel steady on your feet, you fling the door open. Everyone stares at you as you enter the car. You nervously run a hand through your hair. You try and act as if jumping between the cars of a moving train is the most natural thing in the world. You have a feeling that you're not very convincing. You hurry into the next car. The struggling woman was several cars ahead. You head through the swaying train, planning to pick up the woman's trail from where you'd last seen her. But maybe you're in over your head. Those thugs in dark glasses look dangerous. Maybe you need help. If you think you should tell someone what you saw, choose option 1. If you want to just follow the woman's trail, choose option 2. I feel like I don't have anything to talk about today. I figured another thing old ladies really like is collections of things. So that's why you can see behind me today my collection of unicorn figurines. So that's what I have to show off at the moment. Choose option 1 to tell someone what you saw, or choose option 2 if you want to follow the woman's trail yourself. Okay, unanimously, we're going on our own. We're just going to follow her on page 80. And eyeballs. I mean, I always have the eyeballs, because it's got to be spoopy. Come on. You have a funny feeling no one would believe you if you said you have twin grandmas and one's in the trouble on the train. You're not even sure if you believe you. You decide to investigate on your own. You continue through the moving train. You arrive at your compartment with the message in the window. It's smeared, but traces of the red letters are still there. You aren't crazy after all. You search the seat for clues, a lost wallet or luggage, anything to prove the woman's identity, but you find nothing. You get to the door at the far end of the car and reach for the handle. A heavy hand lands on your shoulder. Where do you think you're going? A gruff voice demands. Uh-oh. Who has you in such a strong grip? Flip to page 89. You wriggle out of the hand's grasp and spin around. The train conductor glares down at you. Strange, you think? He's wearing dark glasses. But what he says isn't strange at all. Ticket, please? Oops, you forgot about needing a ticket. Now what? If you want to stall while you try to figure out a way out of the situation, choose option 1. If you want to explain to the conductor the real reason you're on the train, choose option 2. I gotta post on Facebook, you guys, and tell everyone who's not here to get here and join us. Okay, we got option 2. We're gonna explain the real reason why we're on the train on page 92. I'm not really a passenger on the train, you tell the conductor. Could have fooled me, the conductor responds. I mean, that is, you're having trouble explaining. Yes? This I have to hear. The conductor crosses his arms and peers down at you. I saw this fight. A woman struggling with two guys in sunglasses, and I think the woman was my grandma. Your grandma in a brawl? The conductor snorts in disbelief. But it's true, you cry. It's no use. He grabs your sleeve and yanks you to the door. That's the worst excuse for not paying a fare that I have ever heard, he declares. He lifts you up under the armpits and lowers you onto the platform. Luckily, the train hasn't picked up much speed yet. You only stumble a few steps. Cookie! Your furious grandmother marches towards you. What's gotten into you? Jumping on and off of moving trains? That's it. You're grounded. Some way to start a vacation. Grounded. You can't wait until your grandmother's visit comes to an end. Bum, 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 bum. Oh. We got our first ending, you guys. That was pretty fast. That was not like a very, very great storyline. But one down, 20 something to go. Let's see. We're gonna go back and we're gonna stall to try and figure out a way out of the situation on page 21. Ticket, you repeat? You smile up at the conductor. He doesn't smile back. You spot Chuck and Ginny entering the compartment. Great. Hi, I was looking for you. You dart past the conductor and join your friends. He wants to see my ticket, you explain. You hope they'll come up with an idea or some cash. Ooh. If you weren't always late, you would have had your ticket, Ginny scolds, and then she winks at you. That's right, Chuck tells the conductor. My mom is picking us up in Evanstown. She'll pay when we arrive. We promised our parents we wouldn't get into trouble, Ginny gushes. You want to gag, but Ginny's act works. Okay, the conductor pats Ginny's head. As long as the ticket gets paid for. He strolls out of the train car. What was that about? Chuck demands. Why are you on this train? Aren't you supposed to be with your grandmother? You tell them about the strange scene you witnessed. That woman might be my real grandma, you exclaim. You have to help me search the train. Ginny and Chuck gaze at each other. No way, Chuck begins. Your heart sinks all the way to 59. No way are we going to miss out on an adventure like this, Ginny finishes for Chuck. Great, you cry. You quickly explain that you were about to check out the train cars in the direction the thugs dragged your grandma, or the grandma imposter. Whoever. What are we waiting for? Chuck urges. Let's go. The three of you hurry into the next car, and then the car after that, and then the car after that. Are you sure of what you saw? Ginny asks. I mean, Why would two tough guys go after somebody's grandmother? Maybe it was just a coincidence that the two ladies were wearing the same clothes, Chuck adds. No, I know what I saw. You insist, but inside you wonder the same thing. You arrive at the last car. On the door is a yellow sign with large black letters, no entry. You notice Ginny and Chuck exchange a worried look. Before they can change their minds about helping you, you yank open the door. The three of you pile into the car. You gasp, stunned by the shocking sight in front of you. What's going on? Find out on page 50. You've entered the baggage compartment. But luggage isn't what has the three of you frozen in place, eyes wide. Your grandmother sits on a chair surrounded by suitcases. She gazes straight ahead, unblinking. A strange orange light beams down on her. She doesn't move. And although her eyes are open, she doesn't seem to see you. Is she, you know? Ginny stammers. I can't tell, you reply. I think she's alive, but I know a way to find out, Chuck says. He jumps up and down, puts his fingers up to his nose, and howls in Grandma's ear. No reaction from Grandma. You swallow hard. Wait, she is alive, Ginny murmurs, creeping. I can see her breathing. Then why doesn't she say something? You worry aloud. Maybe she's under some kind of spell, Ginny whispers. Maybe it's this weird light, Chuck suggests. He waves a hand into the orange beam. Pow! Chuck's body flies across the railroad car. He lands in a crumpled heap on top of a suitcase. Find out if Chuck is okay on page 77. Chuck, you shriek. You race to his side. He's out cold. Ginny kneels beside you. What happened to him? She cries. The orange light. It must be a force field of some kind, you answer. That's why Grandma can't move. Ginny's frightened eyes meet yours. What are you going to do now? She asks. You wish you knew what to tell her. Whoa, what happened? Chuck murmurs. His eyes blink open. Who hit me? You and Ginny help him to his feet. It wasn't a who, you explain. It was a what? You point to the orange force field. I never knew light could feel so solid. Chuck rubs his face groggily. We better keep out of sight while we decide what to do, you suggest. No telling who will come in. Chuck and Ginny nod their agreement. The three of you duck behind a large set of trunks. Just in time, you hear the door slide open. Turn to page 74. 74. You poke your head up and peer over the two trunks. Two thugs in overcoats and sunglasses enter the baggage car. The same guys you saw fighting with your grandma. Yikes. Did you say guys? When they remove their dark glasses, you discover that they're not guys at all. Well, not human guys anyway. Their eyes, they're the size of ping pong balls, and they glow a creepy yellow. Like lizards, they have no eyelids. Chills of terror make your fingers and toes tingle. You slink back down behind the trunks. We're in terrible danger, you whisper to Ginny and Chuck. Chuck gulps. Let's wait until they leave, then grab your grandma and scram, he urges. How are we supposed to grab her through the force field, Ginny demands. It almost fried you. Then maybe we should overpower those creeps, Chuck suggests. There are 2 of them and 3 of us. Chuck and Ginny can't agree. They want you to decide. If you attack the yellow-eyed creatures, choose option 1. If you want to wait until they leave so you can free Grandma from the orange beam, choose option 2. BRB. I gotta get allergy meds so I can stop scratching my face. If I can get out of the chair. There's 8 seconds left. Okay. We're going with option number 1. We're going to attack the yellow-eyed creatures on page 57. Oh my gosh, I'm so itchy. So, 57. I've got an idea, you whisper. You outline your plan to Chuck and Ginny. Wait for my signal, you say. They nod. You grab a small box lying beside you and toss it to the other side of the compartment. The creatures' heads whip around, their bodies tense, and they move toward the noise. Now, you shout. You and Chuck jump up and grab the rungs of the overhead luggage rack. With a grunt, you swing up onto the racks. Bags and boxes tip over, landing on top of the thugs. Chuck clambers up beside you. Together, you bury the creeps with luggage. Ginny pelts them with parcels and bags. We're winning, you cry. Keep throwing. Suitcases burst open as they hit the ground. Clothes fly everywhere. Bottles shatter and tubes ooze, spilling their contents all over the floor. But in the chaos, your grandma sits staring straight ahead, imprisoned by the orange light. Rah! With a deafening roar, the creatures explode out of the pile of luggage. They head straight for Ginny. Oh no, you shriek. Your eyes dart along the empty luggage racks. We've run out of ammunition. Hurry to page 35. They're aliens. We don't even know if they have nards. Come on. What did I say? 35? Yeah. Ginny, you shout. Look out! Ginny scrambles over a pile of smashed suitcases. She trips on a broken crate and sprawls on the floor. Help me, she shrieks. The yellow-eyed thugs stalk closer. Chuck crawls along the luggage rack, hurling down the few remaining boxes. The creatures are inches from Ginny. You have to help her. You swing your legs over the side of the rack and drop to the floor. Leave her alone, you scream. The door behind you flies open. The conductor bursts in. Great. You might have a chance now. Help us, you beg to the startled conductor. You've got to help us, please. Your heart stops as his head explodes right in front of you. Scream in terror all the way to page 40. That was sudden. Ah! You shriek in horror. Chuck falls to the ground, shaking with fear. Ginny sinks into the pile of bags. You can't tear your eyes away from this terrifying sight. Flesh-colored globs splat onto the floor. Pieces of the conductor's face dangle around his neck. But even more revolting is the disgusting new head that rises from his conductor's collar. A hairless, misshapen skull with lidless eyes. Yellow eyes, the size of ping pong balls. Tentacles shoot out from his sleeves. One wraps around your arm, the other grabs Ginny, and a third bursts from the center of his chest, right through the conductor's uniform. It yanks Chuck to his feet. The tentacle is working its way up your arm toward your face. You've got to do something. But what? If you haul off and punch the creature with your free hand, choose option 1. If you bite the tentacles as hard as you can, choose option 2. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Goosebumps just got real. Sorry, it's not loaded. It's not loading. Something is broken. Oh, I hope this doesn't stay broken the whole time. Okay. Whew. Okay. Vote now. Now vote again, now that it works. If we haul off and punch the creature with our free hand, choose option 1. If we want to bite the tentacles as hard as we can, choose option 2. nasty. Man, I just don't know about that. That's pretty rough. Still time to vote. Choose option 1 to punch the creature with your free hand, or choose option 2 to bite the tentacles as hard as you can. Okay, we got more votes for biting the creature on page 47. It would be useless to hit the powerful creature. Your fist is too small. It would feel like a gnat slugging an elephant. But can you do it? Can you actually sink your teeth into that slimy tentacle? You have no choice. It's wrapping around your throat. You shut your eyes and chomp down on the squirming flesh. Not bad. Kind of tastes like chicken. You dig your teeth in deeper. The creature howls and drops Ginny and Chuck. You hang on with your teeth. Flailing tentacles smash into the walls and the ceiling. The other two creatures duck out of the way as the tentacles flip around. Crash! A strange-looking piece of equipment falls to the floor. The orange light instantly shuts off. The ex-conductor's tentacles must have smashed the light that makes that force field, you realize. You glance at Grandma. She blinks 3 times. She looks dazed. The tentacled conductor creature shrieks and writhes, but the 2 other creatures leap forward to your grandma. You release your teeth from the tentacle. No, you holler. Turn to page 95. Grandma, look out! You race towards her, but Grandma doesn't need any help. She leaps to her feet and assumes a karate stance. With a swift kick, she knocks one creature to the ground. It's out cold. The other creature jumps from her behind. Grandma bends sharply at the waist and flips the creature over her back. It falls into a crumpled heap. With a howl, the conductor creature reaches for Grandma, but she's ready for it. She ducks and then grabs onto one of the tentacles. She jerks the creature hard and it tumbles over. In a smooth move, she uses the tentacles to tie all 3 creatures together. Your mouth drops open in awe. Whoa! You let a long, low whistle. Some action. That was awesome, Ginny agrees. Totally, adds Chuck. Grandma beams at you. She rubs her hands together. That was fun, she exclaims. You stare at her. Is this amazing woman really your grandmother? Turn to page 119. What a mess. Grandma glances around the wrecked baggage car. Help me find my suitcases, then we can get out of here. You spot a suitcase with your grandmother's name on it. The top is popped open. Papers slid out of it onto the floor. Found one, you called. As you place the papers back in the suitcase, several files catch your eye. Top secret, confidential, special government documents are stamped all over the files. Grandma darts over and snatches the files out of your hands. Thanks, she says. She shoves the papers into the suitcase and snaps the lid shut. You stare at her. What is your grandmother doing with secret government files? You're about to ask her when the door flies open again. Thank goodness I found you before it's too late, a voice cries. It's the other grandma. Face the twin grandmas on page 55. Stay away from her, the new grandma warns. She's evil. Don't listen to her, the other grandma yells. She's an imposter. Your head spins. Ginny's gaze shoots back and forth between the identical grandmas. Chuck stares with his mouth open so wide you can see the rubber bands on the inside of his braces. Grandma number 1, the one who fought the 3 creatures, leaps into her martial arts stance. Again, don't mess with me, she snarls. The new grandma, Grandma number 2, cowers by the door of the baggage compartment. Oh no, she whispers. She's gonna get me. She'll get all of us. Shut up, you fake, Grandma number 1 snaps. These kids are too smart to fall for your act. Right? She gazes straight at you. Which grandma is your grandma? If you think Grandma number 2 is your real grandma, being the one outside of the train, choose option 1. Let's do 1 and 1. Sorry. I made this real confusing. Numbers. Okay. If you choose Grandma number 1, being the one you just saved inside the train, then choose option 1. If you think grandma number 2, who is the one you met outside the train, is the real grandma, then choose option 2. Go. 1. Grandma 1 is the one you just saved with the mad karate skills. Grandma 2 is the one cowering that was calling you Cookie. So we got Cookie Grandma or Karate Grandma. Choose number 1 for Karate Grandma and choose number 2 for Cookie Grandma. I feel like that makes it easier. Choose option 1 for Karate Grandma and choose option 2 for Cookie Grandma. Which grandma is the real grandma? I'm like almost out of stickies for... I gotta find more. Okay, I'm just gonna close the poll because we got 6 votes and everyone was unanimous. We're going with Karate Grandma. Going to page 52. You rush to grandma number 1 and assume the martial arts position just like hers. How could you, Cookie? Grandma number 2 wails. Why would you choose that fiend over me? You're sweet old grandma. My parents told me my grandma was unusual, you explain, and full of surprises. That certainly describes me, grandma number 1 boasts. And I don't think my real grandma would call me that terrible nickname, especially since I'm not a little kid anymore, you finish. Ginny and Chuck slap high fives. Way to go, Chuck cheers. Sorry, grandma number 1 tells the other grandma. But don't feel too bad about not being believed. The original is always better than the copy. Huh? What's she talking about? Before you ask, 3 more women charge through the door. More grandmas. Turn to page 8. Man, this book just keeps surprising me. I was not expecting more grandmas. The 3 new grandmas chatter at once. So there you are. Hope number 3 didn't cause any trouble. Is everyone all right in here? What's going on, you scream. Silence fills the train car. All of the grandmas stare at you. So do Chuck and Ginny. Excuse me for yelling, you say, but would someone please explain to me what's happening here? Grandma number 1 laughs. I was just getting to that, she tells you. Allow me to introduce my clones. Then she explains the whole unbelievable story. Your grandma is a top government scientist working on a secret cloning project. A project everyone seems to want to get their hands on. That's why she's coming to stay with you, to hide out. You're the luckiest kid in the world. For the next month, you'll have 5 grandmas, and they all spoil you. The end. Aww. 2 endings. That was a pretty cute ending. I'm down for that. That was fun. Just living your real life with your badass grandma. So, I guess let's see what happens if we, choose the other grandma on page 23. You race to grandma number 2 in the doorway. Keep away from us, you shout at the other grandma. Chuck and Ginny rush to your side. You're not my grandma. Anger, then worry, flashes across grandma number 1's face. Wait, don't! But you all charge out of the baggage car before she can say anything else. You and grandma number 2 get out at the next station. Ginny and Chuck continue on to the hockey game. Grandma, you wouldn't believe what was going on in that train. You tell her as you wait for the train back home. There were alien creatures with yellow ping-pong eyes, and you start to hear a strange gurgling sound beside you. You glance over at Grandma. No, it can't be. Your stomach twists in fear and disgust. Grandma is peeling off her skin. A slimy mass of green, pulsing flesh oozes underneath her grandma face. Boy, oh boy, did you pick the wrong grandma. The end. Oh, that's 3 endings already. Hi, Martha. Welcome to the party. We just got through our third ending. We chose to follow our trained grandma, and then there were like clones, so there were like 5 of them, and we just chose the wrong one. So keep going. Thank you for the counts, Mr. Sunshine. Count. So, sorry, my brain is not on track today. We went through, and when we were fighting the creature, we bit the tentacles. We're going to go back and we're going to try and punch him instead on page 67. No way. You're not putting that slimy tentacle in your mouth. Instead, you punch the creature's face with all your strength. Yow! You yelp. That hurt. The creature doesn't even blink. It wraps you, Ginny, and Chuck even tighter in its tentacles. Alien being, one of the other yellow-eyed creatures addresses you. We have come to destroy your evil grandmother's eggs. We have tracked her through the galaxy for 30 years, hoping she would lead us to her nest. Ginny gasps. Through the galaxy? She echoes. They're saying that they're aliens? Your head spins. That's not all. They're saying something even more unbelievable. What? You sputter? Are you saying my grandmother is an alien? Turn to page 37. You can't believe what this creature is saying. Your grandmother. An alien. No way. The creature that used to be the conductor squeezes you tighter in its tentacles. Pieces of its human disguise drip down its uniform. Now that we have the child, mayhaps Mithradithra will be more cooperative, it says. Who's Mithradithra, you ask? One of the thugs makes a sound you assume is an alien laugh. Your grandmother has taught you well. Yes, the other thug agrees. But we won't be fooled. And your grandmother, Mithradithra, will not succeed in her evil plan to rule this solar system. I don't know what you're talking about, you yell. My grandmother's first name is Susan, not Mithradithra. You've made a mistake, Ginny protests. Just because the old lady dresses funny, it doesn't mean she's an alien. The 3 creatures fix their yellow eyes on you. They make that weird laughing noise again. You will answer our questions soon enough. Now we must prepare. Prepare for what? Find out what they plan to do with you on page 83. So, yeah, I was also thinking that if your grandma's actually an alien, like, are you part alien? Like, that'd be pretty cool, I guess. The conductor creature snaps open a wall panel, revealing dials, knobs, and switches. Your grandma is still frozen in the force field. The conductor turns a dial. The train car suddenly hums with a pulsing electronic sound. With a rumbling whoosh, the baggage car releases from the train. It shoots in the opposite direction down the track. What's going on? Chuck yells over the noise. Before you can answer, the car lurches. You're thrown to the floor. In an instant, the baggage car lifts off the ground and hurtles into the sky. We're in some kind of spaceship, you cry. Now that you realize that there is no escape, the conductor suggests, perhaps you will be more cooperative. Tell us, the smaller alien approaches you slowly. Where do you live? Where did your grandmother bury the eggs? I don't know what you're talking about, you protest. You'll change your story, the other creature warns. We'll get that answer we want. Then it does something so disgusting, you nearly faint. What's so disgusting? Turn to page 81, if you can stand it. The alien bends over, opens its mouth, and vomits out a slimy, snarling, dog-like monster. Meet Fido, the yellow-eyed creature says with a laugh. Fido snarls. It has 3 rows of razor-sharp teeth. Its fangs drip with slime. I can't tell you anything. I don't know what you're talking about, you gasp. Perhaps your friends will be more cooperative. The two other aliens each vomit out a drooling dog. Fido lunges at you. The other monster dogs leap at Chuck and Ginny. It's hurting me, Chuck screams. Tell them. You desperately push the monster dog away. You're almost too terrified to think. Should you just tell them your address? You know your grandmother isn't this evil Mithra Dithra, so what difference would it make? But once you give the creatures what they want, won't they go ahead and kill you? They won't need you anymore. Decide quick. Fido's drool burns your skin like acid. If you want to tell the aliens where you live, choose option 1. If you want to bluff and think of some way to stay alive, choose option 2. Right? I feel like I could give them the wrong address too, but apparently we didn't think of that. Still time to vote. Tell the aliens where we live with option 1, or lie on option 2. Okay, everybody wants to lie, you guys. Page 107. These creeps think you're related to a powerful alien. Maybe if you act powerful too, they'll be afraid of you. Call off your dogs, you command. You try to sound like alien royalty. Or I'll unleash my own forces. The creatures glance at each other. One of them makes a shrill beeping sound. The vomit dogs freeze in mid-bite. Ha! This might work. Now that you have seen through my human disguise, you continue, there is no point in pretending. I am Smithra, heir to the Mithra Dithra kingdom. Ginny and Chuck stare at you. This is fun. So stay back, you bellow, or you'll feel my wrath. You point at the 3 creatures. Sparks shoot out of your fingers. Huh? How'd you do that? Turn to page 116. What friends do I have? I'm so confused. Did I miss something? Oh, 16. Okay, that was great. A favorite part of the story. The sparks from your fingers short-circuit the orange force field around your grandmother. Grandma shakes her head a few times, and then she smiles at you. Cookie, she exclaims. Good. I see you have everything under control. I knew I could count on you. You wave your hand at the cowering, yellow-eyed creatures again. Sparks fly at them. What's going on? You stammer. Grandma beams. Aw, she coos. My little baby is growing up. You've reached the age when you can use your powers. Powers? So it's true? You are an alien after all? Your grandma is Mithra Dithra. Together, you take over the world. You put Ginny and Chuck in charge of their very own solar systems, and you make the yellow-eyed thugs your gigantic chauffeurs. The end. So I guess I like the powers, but I feel like that was kind of a cop-out ending still. So, 4 endings, yes. Instead, let's go with telling the aliens where we live on page 99, which does not seem like a great idea, but here we go. Ginny's and Chuck's screams rip through you worse than the monster dog's acid drool. Okay, you shriek. Call off the dogs. You rattle off your address. Very good. The 3 alien creatures lean over and open their jaws wide. The monster dogs jump back in their mouths. The creatures swallow. Then all three belch and pat their tummies. Man, talk about disgusting. We are terribly sorry, the ex-conductor says, but we really did need to know, and now we'll take you home. With the twist of a few dials, the spaceship changes direction. In minutes, you land behind your house. You glance out the window and gasp. What has you so upset? Rush to page 104. Oh no, you wail. You've landed on my mom's petunias. They're totally ruined. My mom is going to go ballistic. But it gets worse. As soon as the spaceship hatch pops open, the creatures go to work. They dig up her prize rose bushes. You're going to be in big trouble when your mom comes home. You don't believe what you see next. You're soon ankle deep in hundreds of enormous, pulsing purple eggs. Your grandma must be an alien after all. When the creatures have filled their ship with the eggs, the ex-conductor approaches you. Now you understand why we must keep your grandmother, but we apologize for the mess, he said. Here are some seeds to replace the plants we destroyed. Thanks? You take the packet from the wiggling tentacle. With a wave, the creature enters the spaceship. You watch it leave the atmosphere. Chuck and Ginny help you with the garden. Alien flowers grow differently from Earth plants, you realize. Within minutes, the garden is overflowing with gigantic roses. Your mom should be pleased, as long as she doesn't mind that the roses smell like bananas and glow in the dark. The end. Okay, I think that has to be my favorite ending so far, because, like, glow in the dark banana roses, like, that's pretty cool. I'm cool with that. So we have hit 5 endings, friends. Let's keep going on back. Let's see. We are now back at the point where the 2 thugs come into the train car and they are revealed to be creatures, and we decided to attack them. So instead, we're going to see if we can wait for them to leave and then free Grandma from the orange beam on page 87. Those guys aren't human, you tell Ginny and Chuck. You shudder. I don't want to try taking them on. You, Chuck, and Ginny scrunch down as low as you can behind the trunks. You try to not even breathe, and then you hear the door slide open again. Have they left, you wonder? Or did someone else come in? Only one way to find out. You crawl between packing crates and boxes, searching for signs of the creatures. As you slide along the floor, something hooks around your ankle. Crash! A large rectangular mirror wrapped in plastic thuds to the floor right behind you. Oh no! Did those yellow-eyed creatures hear you? Are you about to be zapped? Hold your breath until page 68. You wait. Nothing happens. Phew! You let out your breath. The creatures must have left. You're safe. Are you okay? Chuck asks, rushing over. You sit up and untangle the packing twine that wraps around your ankle. We better move fast, Ginny warns. That crash was really loud. Someone might come to see what it was. Yeah, Chuck agrees. He helps you lift the mirror back upright. Luckily, it didn't break. So how are we going to break through this orange force field to grab your grandma? You scratch your head. You murmur. Then, the mirror gives you an idea. How will a mirror help you? Find out on page 71. Help me with this thing, you instruct Chuck and Ginny. Together, the 3 of you unwrap the large mirror, and then you carry it over to your frozen grandma. If we find the right angle, you explain, we should be able to deflect the beams of the force field. What are you doing in here? A voice demands behind you. Your head whips around. They're back! Those 2 thugs in overcoats and sunglasses. Think fast. Turn to page 128. Quick, you shriek. Lift! You, Chuck, and Ginny hoist the heavy mirror over your heads. It pierces the orange beam. The rays bend and bounce off the mirror, straight at the 2 thugs. The 2 creatures stand frozen in place. It's working, you cry. Grab Grandma! You lean the mirror back against the luggage rack, aiming the beam directly at the creatures. Chuck and Ginny lift Grandma out of the chair. She's still out cold, but at least you've rescued her from the force field. Out the back, you shout. Hurry! Chuck and Ginny drag Grandma out the back door. You follow right behind them. Oops, you forgot you were in the last car. So genius, Ginny says as she strains to hold up Grandma. Now what? Turn to page 96. You glance around, hoping for an idea. Your eyes land on a ladder leading to the top of the train. Up there! You grab a rung and climb. At the top, you reach down and lug up Grandma. Your muscles strain with the effort. Chuck and Ginny shove her from below as you yank her limp arms. Finally, you're all gasping on top of the train. We don't know how long that force field will hold, you warn. We better keep moving. The three of you drag Grandma across the cart tops. It's tough going. You're not sure if this was such a good idea. I'll see if anyone is looking for us. You scurry to the side of the train. Grab my ankles. Ginny and Chuck grasp your ankles and lower you down head first. You peer into the train window and gasp. The train car is filled with people in sunglasses. One of them notices you. He points and moves closer to the window. He pulls off his glasses to take a better look. Yellow ping pong ball eyes. Panic all the way to 111. I can't believe you just let your friends dangle you off the side of a moving train car by your ankles, but okay. We'll go with that. It's fine. Pull me up, you shriek. Ginny and Chuck lift you back to the top of the train. They saw me. They know we're up here, you yell. They'll be after us any second. Ginny and Chuck stare at each other. Their faces are white with fear. Yours is too. We're going to have a hard time escaping with your grandmother like that. Chuck points to Grandma. She looks like a limp rag doll. We can't waste any time, you urge. You peek over the side of the train and stare into a pair of yellow eyes gazing up at you. One of the creatures is leaning out the window. Do something. Fast. If you want to leap from the train before it's too late, choose option 1. If you wake Grandma so you can try to crawl away, choose option 2. My face is so itchy, you guys. I'm so sorry. I can't stop touching it. Sometimes my allergies do that, and there's no saving it. I just itch forever. I'm just gonna ruin whatever lines are on my face, so it's fine. Everything's fine, you guys. Choose option 1 to leap from the train. Choose option 2 to wake Grandma and try to crawl away. Yeah, the last few days I've noticed that my car's been covered in pollen every time I go out there too. So, yeah, allergies are happening. Dear God, it is not straight vodka. Oh my God, no. This is leftover from the party yesterday. Truly hard seltzer with a hint of raspberry lime. It's okay, but maybe I'm allergic to it. Or maybe it's just pollen. I don't know, but I can't stop itching. So either way, it looks like we are choosing option number 1. If you leap from the train before it's too late, turn to page 10. You don't have a moment to lose. The train car below you is filled with those creatures. And they've found you. They'll be climbing up after you any minute now. Geronimo, you shout to Chuck and Ginny. Then you leap off the train. Oops, bad timing. The train is going over a bridge. A very high bridge. It's a long way down. So long, in fact, that you have time to read the big banner hanging from the side of the train car. Evanstown High School Annual Costume Party. Too bad you didn't notice it sooner. Say goodbye, party animal. The end. Oh, man. So, that one was kind of lame. Just a costume party. What about all those, like, creeps, though? Yeah, I don't know. 6 endings. Let's try and wake up Grandma, see what happens on page 28. We've got to wake Grandma, you tell the others. We won't be able to escape any other way. You, Ginny, and Chuck rush over to Grandma. You rub her hands and pat her face lightly. Finally, she comes around. My, she murmurs. What am I doing up here? You describe everything that has happened. She clucks and shakes her head. I was afraid they might be on to me. Then Grandma tells you an amazing story. What? You didn't get... how do you not understand the reference from the count? Oh, okay. Never mind. Jeez. She tells you an amazing story. I've lost my place. You guys distracted me. She's a secret agent specializing in alien investigations. I've been tracking the evil Mithra, she explained. Obviously, she assumed my identity. That's why you saw two of us at the train station, and why those creatures captured me. Your head swims. This is unbelievable, but you know your grandma is telling you the truth. Grandma smiles at you. You three did very well, she says. I have an assignment for you, if you dare. If you accept the assignment, choose option 1. If you've had enough of aliens and danger, choose option 2. Mm-hmm. 29 seconds left. I don't think it matters that you haven't seen Sesame Street in a long time. Like that, the Count is iconic, okay? He's like the best Sesame Street character. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And, yeah, how could you forget that? Okay, we got votes for option 1. Of course, we're gonna take the assignment from our secret agent grandma. It would be silly to not. So turn to page 34. Let's kick some alien butts, you guys. Become an official investigator of aliens? You bet, you exclaim. Ginny and Chuck nod enthusiastically. Great, Grandma beams at you. I'm going to go after Mithra, but I need you to stay on this train. You try to hide your disappointment. Can we go with you to defeat the evil alien, you ask? Grandma shakes her head. I need you to track another set of aliens. You see, I discovered why there are so many aliens on this train. They're all heading for a big meeting a few miles up. Chuck lets out a low whistle. Like some kind of alien convention, he asks. In a way, Grandma smiles. They meet every few years on a centrally located planet. This year, they're coming to Earth. Ginny shudders. To do what? Grandma leans forward. That's what I need you three to find out. Arrive at the alien meeting on page 38. You, Ginny, and Chuck arrive at the alien meeting. Grandma has given each of you a disguise. You think your two blue heads look really cool. But unfortunately, this assignment turns out to be totally boring. It really is a convention. These aliens get together to vote on galaxy parking rules, real estate taxes, and planetary trade pacts. It's so dull, both of your blue heads fall asleep. Then, 5-armed orange security guard has to throw you out. Your snoring is disturbing the guest speaker. Oh well, sometimes even aliens turn out to be dull in the end. Was that 7? Was that 7, you guys? Someone else is keeping track. Yes, 6. 7. Okay. How about yeah. So I guess maybe we don't want to take the assignment because that's a lame ass assignment. So turn to page 46. Are you kidding? You're turning down the chance to have a close encounter of the alien kind? You'd rather go home than spy on creatures from outer space? Boy, you sure aren't the kind of kid who usually reads Give Yourself Goosebumps. Maybe we should just go get your baby brother's nursery rhymes. Pick this book up again when you stop being such a wimp. The end. Okay. That just that's all there was there, I guess. With our 8 endings. Let's see. Where can we go back now? So this is now to the point where we had just that's true. I did like that ending more than the other one. So we're gonna the point where we just jumped onto the train to try and see if that was our grandma or not. We had to vote previously if we thought we should tell someone why we were there or if we just wanted to try and follow grandma. So we're going to try and tell someone and see what happens that way on page 70. Those thugs look dangerous, you decide. You need help. You glance around the train car. 3 kids reading comic books. A fat man sleeping. A teenage girl doing homework. Not much to choose from. You approach the teenage girl. Excuse me, you whisper. I need your help. The girl doesn't look up. I'm busy, she snaps. You try again. I saw a fight and I... Look, she sighs. I have an A average. I'm not going to blow it by messing up on this exam. Go away. Well, that was useless. Did you say you saw a fight? You turn at the sound of the deep voice. Looming over you is a man in an overcoat and sunglasses. Fight? Fight, you babble? Oh, yeah, last night, a boxing match on TV. You can't see the man's eyes behind his sunglasses. You're not sure if he believes you, but he nods and walks away. You head towards the end of the car, searching for someone to help you. As you pass the bathroom, the door pops open. An arm reaches out and yanks you inside. Turn to page 72. You're shocked when you discover who dragged you into the tiny bathroom. Grandma, you exclaim. She clasps her hand over your mouth. Shh, she hisses. You struggle to breathe. She's incredibly strong. I'm going to take my hand away, she tells you. Do you promise to be quiet? Your lungs feel as if they're about to explode. You nod. Good, Grandma releases you. Sorry about that, but we can't risk being found. Who are those guys, you demand? Why are they after you? Grandma sighs. I guess you need to know. You're up to your neck right along with me. Yikes. Listen to Grandma on page 91. Grandma gazes solemnly at you. I'm a secret agent, she informs you. Your mouth drops open. You what? You sputter. It's true. Those men who grabbed me think that I'm smuggling a special computer disk. Are you? You blurt. She smiles. It's better if you don't know for sure. You have a zillion questions you want to ask her, but a sharp knock on the bathroom door startles you. Grandma pulls a small, high-tech device from her pocket. What do you think we should do? She whispers. Should we take our chances and open the door? Or should we sneak out through the window? It's up to you. If you want to climb out the bathroom window, choose option 1. If you want to yank open the door, choose option 2. I'm more like, Grandma's the secret agent here, so why is she like, you can tell us whatever you want to do, kid. It's fine. Ashley, you did not vote properly. You just said option 1. Make your vote count. This grandma's shady. I think this one is a bad grandma. Is this the new movie? It's like Bad Grandma, and she's just like a secret agent. Hmm. 20 seconds left to vote, you guys. Climb out the bathroom window with option 1, or yank open the door with option 2. Okay. We got more votes for option 1. So we are going to climb out the bathroom window with our grandmother. Page 97. Out the window, you declare, or we'll be trapped in here. Good choice, Grandma says. She slips the device back into her pocket. You peer out the window. The countryside speeds by. There's nowhere to go out that window, you realize. Nowhere but down. The pounding on the door increases. It strains on its hinges. No time to waste. Remember, duck and roll, Grandma instructs you. She gives you a boost up, and then you fling yourself out the window. Duck and roll to page 61. I thought that saying was always tuck and roll, because you like fold up, but this is duck and roll. Is that what it is? Does he have it wrong? Do I have it wrong? Have I been saying it wrong for my entire life? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up now. Someone look it up. Okay, 61. Wham! Your landing knocks the wind out of you. You roll several yards. You can feel every rock through your clothes. As you struggle to get up, you notice Grandma is already on her feet. She's speaking into her watch. You dash over. She smiles. We'll be out of here in no time, she tells you. Within minutes, a helicopter is hovering over you. Your hair whips in the wind created by the rotating blades. A rope ladder is tossed down. Grandma grabs a ring and scrambles up. You follow a few feet behind her. As Grandma nears the helicopter door, she stops. Uh-oh, she mutters. You don't like the sound of that. Turn to page 121. Jump, Grandma whispers down to you. These aren't the good guys. The helicopter is already lifting away. You glance at the ground below you. Yikes! Grab the disc out of my sock, Grandma continues. Don't let them see you do it. Take it straight to the address on the label. You'll be safe there. She has the special disc on her after all. Cool. You slip the disc out of her sock. Grandma climbs up as if it was nothing wrong. You take a deep breath and let go of the ladder. After jumping from a moving train, this doesn't seem so bad. You land and take off running. All this fuss over some stupid computer floppy. You dart into some bushes and examine the disc. The address on the label isn't too far from your house. You head off in the right direction. Turn to page 123. You sneak back towards home. You try to stay out of sight. By the time you pass your house, you're pretty sure it's safe. You check the address of the computer disk again. You wonder what's on the disk. What makes it so valuable? You can't resist. You dash into your house. In your room, you switch on your computer and slip the floppy into the drive. Your eyes widen. Awesome. Totally, completely, amazingly awesome. You can't take your eyes off the screen. All of the next year's computer games are on this disc. You scroll through the files. Every major company. You can play them all before anyone else. You click open a file. Whoa, neat. Nuclear Ninja has added sound effects. You open another. Destroyer added 4 new levels. This is fantastic. You could sit here for hours. Bang, crash, wham. You're so startled, you fall off your desk chair. When you glance up, you discover a thug in an overcoat and sunglasses standing in your doorway. Your broken down doorway. And there's another one leaning in your window. Your smashed window. Uh-oh. Guess what? It's game over for you. The end. Dude, I'm like thinking the same. I'm like a floppy disk. I was like, you can't fit anything on those. Even back, like, when file types were much smaller and we couldn't do as many cool things. Like, you couldn't fit a game on there. I mean, I guess back in the day, like, the real big ones, like, you had, like, Oregon Trail. But that was, like, 4 discs, though. That wasn't just 1 disc, so. Okay, that was pretty cool. I did like the jumping from the moving vehicles and stuff. That was kind of cool. Okay, so instead of climbing out the bathroom window, we're gonna open the door to the bathroom on 29. Let's see who's on the other side of the door, you tell Grandma. She nods. On my signal. Grandma aims the device at the center of the door. You reach for the handle. She nods again. You take a deep breath and yank open the door. Ah! A boy shrieks, bursting into the bathroom. Wham! The door smashes into your knee. The pain makes you weak. The boy knocks into Grandma. The device flies from her hand, straight into the toilet. She fell against the wall. Get out! Get out! Get out! The boy hollers. You and Grandma are no match for him. When you gotta go, you gotta go. The end. Did we just hit 10 endings, you guys? Woo! 10 endings. We're like almost halfway-ish through the book. Maybe? I don't know. This kid's just like knocking you guys out from his stupid bathroom. Okay. Let's see. What else we got going on back here? So now we are back to the point where we have the choice to jump on the train because we saw the help me written on the window, and we think our grandma is in there. Or we can stick with the grandma that we found outside the train. So we are going to stick with our first found grandma and go to page 26. It's so nice to see my cookie. Your grandmother gazes down at you. Her eyes sparkle. 2 dimples crinkle her cheeks as she smiles. You grin up at her. You must have imagined seeing that other woman. How could you have 2 grandmas? That's a dumb idea. Get your grandma to a cab on page 44. Let me help you with those. You reach for one of Grandma's 2 large suitcases. Grandma shakes her head. No, I'm perfectly balanced. If you take one, I'll probably topple over, she giggles. Now that would be a sight. You lead her out of the railroad station and to a taxi. Grandma shoves her suitcases into the trunk and then climbs into the cab beside you. Give the driver your address, she instructs, and then tell me all about yourself. You do as she says. But as you launch into a long story about your brilliant performance at school yesterday, she interrupts you. Tell me about the rose garden, Grandma demands. Try not to be annoyed and turn to page 18. Uh-oh. I'm nervous about that rose garden. You sigh. The roses are great, you answer politely. Mom says they're unusually large this year. Grandma leans back in the car seat. That is excellent. Why do you want to know about our garden, you ask? She pats your hand. I've lived in the house before your mother and father did, and I planted the eggs in the garden. Eggs, you repeat? How could you plant eggs? Grandma looks startled. I meant seeds. I planted the seeds for the rose bushes. Those rose bushes have been there as long as I can remember, you mark. You must have planted them a long time ago. 15 years ago, Grandma tells you. They're the only roses planted by the light of shooting stars, she chuckles. Meteors, really. So many meteors fell. Night turned into day. The taxi pulls up into your driveway. I must see the roses right away. Grandma leaps out of the cab and disappears around the back of the house. You stare after her. Was she always this weird? The driver pops open the trunk to get Grandma's bags. He reaches in and tugs and yanks and grunts and pulls. Give the guy a hand on page 101. What's the problem, you ask the struggling cab driver. Skip breakfast this morning? The cab driver glares at you. Sweat trickles down his forehead. You try to lift those bags, he grunts. You reach in and grab the handle of the top suitcase. Whoa, that bag is heavy. You grit your teeth and yank hard. Every muscle strains as you lift the bag out of the trunk. I don't get it, you murmur. Grandma carried both of those bags without any trouble. Then Grandma must be a weightlifter, the driver snaps. Together, you half drag, half carry the luggage to the front door. You drop yours with a loud thud. That must weigh 200 pounds, you gasp. The cab driver glances around. Let's open them, he whispers. I want to know what Grandma has that weighs so much. You know it would be snooping, but you're also dying of curiosity. What are you going to do? If you want to open the suitcases, choose option 1. If you want to tell the cab driver, no way, choose option 2. I do like that the cab driver is just like, let's just open this lady's luggage. Like, that's so weird, you guys. Man. You learned your snooping lesson the hard way. What? Shady camera, shady grandma. We still have 30 seconds left right now. The vote is tied. So someone else please vote. Choose option 1 to open the suitcase, or choose option 2 to tell the cab driver, no way. Okay. It looks like we are going with option 1. We're gonna open the suitcases with the shady cab driver on page 85. You have to find out what makes the suitcases weigh so much. Then you have to find out how Grandma carried them so easily. Okay, you whisper to the cab driver, but hurry. You glance around. No Grandma. Great. You figure she's still checking out her precious rose bushes. The cab driver fiddles with the lock on the luggage. He murmurs. I've never seen a lock like this before. You bend down beside him. You examine the small lock on the suitcase. It glows blue and feels warm in your hand. It's not a combination lock, and it doesn't seem to have a slot for a key. It is weird, you agree. Now I really want to get these bags open. The cab driver laughs. I can't resist a challenge. You peer closely at the lock. You notice a small rose etched into the metal. I wonder if... You press hard on the rose, and the lock snaps open. Find out what's inside the suitcase on page 105. The moment the lock pops open, the suitcase begins to vibrate. You stumble backwards, banging into the startled cab driver. He trips, and the two of you tumble off the front step. You land hard on the lawn. The suitcase spins around and around. As it bounces wildly, the sides slowly open. Purple mist escapes from the bag with a hissing sound. What's going on? The cab driver stammers. But you can't answer him. You're too stunned by what you're seeing. With a whoosh, a giant rose bush bursts from Grandma's suitcase. You scramble to your feet. The terrified cab driver is still sprawled on the ground, directly below the huge rose bush. Grandma races around the corner of the house. Oh, she calls. I see you found my prized plant. You stare up at the dozens of giant flowers towering over you. Each bud is twice the size of your head. But what? How? Grandma smiles, a strange, evil smile. How did it get so big? She finishes for you. My rose has a very special diet, and I think it's time for lunch. Find out what's on the menu on 117. Like, is this turning into the Little Shop of Horrors? If it is, it better be a musical. Just saying. Yes, Grandma croons. I think my baby is hungry. You gaze up at the huge rose bush. Could it be? Is it moving? Your heart pounds triple time. One of the enormous rose bushes bends down toward the cab driver. In a flash, it gobbles him up. You shut your eyes, but you can still hear the cab driver's muffled screams. And then, silence. Trembling, you open your eyes. Oh no, the gigantic flower is inches from your head. Good baby, Grandma coos. You ate every bite at dinner. Now you get to have a nice treat for dessert. Eek! You have a terrible feeling you know what dessert is going to be. Well, What did you expect with a nickname like Cookie? The end. It's 11 endings. Okay, okay. We're working our way down. Okay, let's tell this cabbie. No way. We're not breaking into our grandma's luggage. Page 7. Forget it, you scold the cab driver. That's snooping. The front door pops open. What's taking you so long? Grandma demands. She strides to the cab, grasps the suitcase handles, and lifts both bags. Okay, is it just me? Or, like, I'm pretty sure that you already, like, brought the bags up to the house before he said you should open them. But whatever. I need to start working out, the cab driver mutters. Come on, Cookie, Grandma beams at you. Show me my room. It's at the top of the stairs, you tell her. You follow her into the house. Perfect, she croons, entering the guest room. Right over the rose garden. I'll watch my babies growing out of the ground. Did you hear right? Your babies? You repeat? Grandma spins around and stares at you. Then she smiles. I think of the rose bushes as my babies, she explains. Grandma isn't just unusual, you think. She's plain weird. You peer down. You've never paid much attention to the garden before. It takes up most of the backyard. Dozens of flowers sprout from every bush. Okay, so this year they're wacky colors. And they are much larger than usual. But basically, what's the big deal? Grandma suddenly stiffens beside you. Find out what's wrong on page 30. There are 2 strangers at the back door, Grandma says. Get rid of them. We don't need any nosy neighbors poking around. You glance out the window and smile. Those are just my friends, Sophie and Andrew, you assure. Hey guys, you call. Sophie and Andrew look up. Sophie is the toughest kid you know. She's not afraid of anything. Bugs, snakes, rats, nothing scares her. You never, ever dare her to do anything, because she'll do it and then double dare you. Andrew's stingy brown hair sticks out in weird clumps. Whenever Andrew thinks hard about something, he rubs his head, so his hair is always a mess because he never stops thinking. Friends of yours? Grandma murmurs. I must meet them. Okay. You lean back out the window. Yo, guys, you yell. You're about to tell them to come upstairs when Grandma grasps your arm. Not now, she orders. I need to freshen up after my travels, unpack, maybe take a nap. You rub your arm where she grabbed you. She is one tough grandma. Turn to page 120. Run along now, Grandma tells you. You bound out of her room, downstairs, and out the back door. You hate to admit it, but your own grandmother gives you the creeps. You can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong. Sophie and Andrew are sprawled on your back porch. Hey guys, you greet them. What's up? We're hungry, Sophie announces. We need brownies. Andrew nods. Or we'll collapse before the big event. What big event, you ask, leading them into the kitchen. You set a plate of Mom's fresh brownies on the table. Sophie and Andrew are too busy munching to answer. Finally, Sophie swallows. Milk, she croaks. Give me milk. You grab the milk carton. You hold it over Sophie's head. Tell me what the big event is, you insist, or I'll give you a milk shampoo. Andrew snorts. How about a Milky Way shampoo? He holds up a newspaper. Check this out. You grab the newspaper and scan the article. Meteor shower tonight, you read aloud. Cool. You peer at the tiny map, and then your eyes widen. Hey, that's my house, you sputter. 15 years ago, a meteor crashed here, right in our rose garden. Turn to page 65. Man, when my friend just demanded milk, all I could think of was Men in Black, where he's like, sugar. I'm like, are they aliens too? Grandma said she planted the roses during a meteor shower, but she never mentioned that a meteor landed in the garden. Didn't she notice? Let's look for pieces of the meteor, Sophie suggests. I don't think we'll be able to recognize meteor fragments, you caution her. They'll just look like regular rocks. We should search anyway, Sophie insists. You know better than to argue with Sophie. You, Andrew, and Sophie head out to the back door. You're surprised to see Grandma kneeling in the rose garden. She changed out of her purple and yellow outfit into an even stranger one, a shiny silver jumpsuit. I thought she was taking a nap, you murmur. Is that your grandmother? Andrew asks. I think so, you answer uncertainly. Sophie laughs. What do you mean? Don't you know your own grandmother? Right now, you're not so sure. Turn to page 75. You stare at the woman in the rose garden, the woman who claims to be your grandmother. You think back to the train station, your mother's strange phone call. Could the grandma in the garden be an imposter? She looks cool, Sophie interrupts your thoughts. Introduce us. Maybe you should tell Sophie and Andrew your suspicions. They can help you keep an eye on her. Try to figure out if she's who she says she is. Or maybe you're just being silly. After all, why would anyone impersonate your grandmother? And she did say she wanted to meet your friends. Choose option 1 if you want to introduce Andrew and Sophie to Grandma. Or choose option 2 if you want to spy on her first. Yeah, I'm surprised by her silver jumpsuit. That's pretty cool. We still have time to vote, you guys. Choose option 1 to introduce Andrew and Sophie to Grandma, or choose option 2 to spy on her first. Okay. Looks like we're gonna spy on her first. That sounds like a good idea to me. Turn to page 78. Obviously. Heck, I was like, Ashley wants to spy. Grandma makes you nervous. You want to find out more about her. I'll introduce you later, you tell Sophie and Andrew. Right now, there's something you need to help me with. You lead them back to the house. Sitting at your kitchen table, you quickly describe all the strange things you've noticed about Grandma since she's been here. Sophie snorts. So, your grandmother is stronger than you. What's the big deal? And my mom is always mixing up words, Andrew asks. Half the time she calls me by my sister's name. So what if your grandma said eggs instead of seeds? You sigh. They don't believe you. Turn to page 41. Somehow. It's more than Grandma's weird behavior, you exclaim. It's a feeling I have. Andrew and Sophie laugh. Oh, excuse me, Sophie teases. I didn't realize you had a feeling. We all know how reliable those feelings are, Andrew adds. Guys, you run your hands through your hair. I'm serious. Don't freak, Sophie consoles you with a laugh. We think you're nuts, but we'll still try to help you. Yeah, Andrew nods. Spying will be fun. What's the plan? Plan? You haven't thought of that one yet. You gaze out the kitchen window at Grandma in the garden. Maybe we should watch Grandma try to figure out what she's doing in the rose garden, you suggest. Okay. Andrew and Sophie head for the door. And then you have another idea. Or maybe we should search her room. Andrew and Sophie gaze at you. She's your grandmother, Andrew says. Make up your mind. You heard Andrew. Choose. So if you want to spy on Grandma in the garden, choose option 1. If you'd rather search her room first, choose option 2. Okay, we still have time to vote. Choose option 1 to just spy on Grandma in the garden, or choose option 2 to search her room first. Okay. We are going with option 2. We're going to search her room first. Page 53. This would be a good chance to find out more about Grandma, you tell Sophie and Andrew. Let's search her room. Right, Chief. Sophie salutes you. You all trudge up to Grandma's room. The door is shut. Glancing around, you quickly turn the doorknob. Then the three of you slip inside. You gaze around the room. It just looks like an ordinary bedroom. Andrew fidgets beside you. We should hurry here, I don't want to get caught in here. He's right. But where do we begin? If you want to search the closets, choose option 1. Or if you want to look under the bed, choose option 2. Anyone? Okay. Search the closets, choose option 1, or to look under the bed, choose option 2. I wonder what my hair is going to look like when I take these curlers out, you guys. Do people sleep in these? Because, like, I feel like I would not want to sleep with these things attached to my head. We got 10 viewers and only 5 voters. Who's not voting out there? Who's here? Just spying. Like us. See what I did, you guys? Okay, so we are searching the closets on 62. You stride to one of the closets. This seems like a good place to start, you announce. You fling open the door and gasp. What is it? Sophie asks, her voice trembling. You turn to her, a terrified look on your face. Grandma's other clothes are even uglier than her purple and yellow outfit. Sophie punches your arm. That's not funny. Andrew laughs. Yes, it is. He steps into the closet and pushes aside the row of clothes hanging from the rod and gasps. You snort. Andrew, we're not going to fall for that now. It wasn't funny the first time, Sophie adds. I'm not being funny, Andrew tells you. He points to the back of the closet. You peer beyond him. There, sitting on the shelves, is a shoebox overflowing with hands. Human hands. Turn to page 118. You reach toward the box of hands. Your stomach lurches, but you have to find out if they're real. Your fingers gently poke at the flesh. Rubber! You let out a huge sigh. They're fake, you exclaim. That doesn't explain why they're here, Sophie points out. Andrew searches this closet over by the window. There are feet in this closet, he tells you. Before you can go look, you hear footsteps on the stairs. Grandma! Quick! We have to get out of here, you whisper hoarsely. The footsteps are coming closer. If we leave now, Sophie says, she'll see us. Sophie is right. Your eyes desperately scan the room for a place to hide, or a way out. Your gaze lands on the window. Do you dare? Or should you pop into the closet? If you want to go out through the window, turn to page 106. So choose option 1. If you want to hide in the closet, choose option 2. If you want to climb out the window, choose option 1. To hide in the closet, choose option 2. We still got about 30 seconds left to vote. I don't know what my favorite book is. I mean, I still really love the Wicked Wax Museum one. I don't know. Okay. We are choosing option 1. We are going to climb out the window. Page 106. I like the vampire one was good too. I liked that one. This way. You dash to the window. Andrew and Sophie right behind you. You yank it open and stick your head out. The ground suddenly seems very far away. However, Grandma's footsteps are definitely very close. Try to land in the rose garden, you instruct your friends. The bushes will help cushion the fall. You climb out the window ledge. You shut your eyes and take a deep breath. And then you jump. You land on a tall rose bush. Thorns poke you all over. You feel shaken up, but you aren't hurt. Andrew and Sophie leap down beside you. You pull yourself out of the scratchy branches and plop onto the soft ground. You gaze up at the window. Grandma smiles down at you. A chilling, evil smile. Then she vanishes back inside. Okay, what kind of idiot? I would rather drop on the hard ground than drop into rose bushes and get all sliced up by the thorns. That would not help cushion the fall at all. Oh, man. Yeah, the Wicked Wax Museum is the only one that I had from being a kid. I feel like there was probably some other ones that were the Choose Your Own Adventure, but I don't remember what they are. None of these are familiar to me at all, so I think these are all new for me as well. And I'm not, like, pre-reading the books, so I am discovering everything along with you guys. We're going to page 63. She's seen us, you yell. We've got to get out of here. You grab Andrew's hands and help him out of the snarl of roses. Sophie crawls out from under a bush. Everybody okay, you ask? No permanent damage, Sophie replies. Andrew nods. Then let's move it. You turn to run and trip over a tangle of roots. The bushes are so thick that you can't see Grandma, but you can hear her. She comes out of the house. She's just outside the garden. You scramble to your feet. You push aside a clump of roses and come face to face with a pair of eyes. Eyes in the middle of a big, fat rose. Yikes, hurry to page 103. The eyes on the rose blink at you. Sophie, Andrew, you choke out. Run! But your warning comes too late. Long green tendrils wrap themselves around you and your friends. No, Sophie shrieks. What's happening? Andrew screams. You strain against the tight grip of the plant. Grandma, help us, you cry. But Grandma ignores you. She skips through the rose bushes, chanting. You're about to holler again when the rose spits a glob of slimy orange goo right into your face. It fills your mouth and eyes. You wipe your face on your sleeve, but the sticky substance won't come off. It's too thick. You can't see a thing. But you can hear Sophie and Andrew screaming for help, and Grandma reciting something. It sounds like a nursery rhyme. You struggle to move towards your friends, but your feet are stuck. Is the plant wrapped around them, you wonder? And then you realize the horrible truth. You no longer have feet. You have roots. You're turning into a plant. Turn to page 113. Panic rises in your chest, making it difficult for you to breathe. Grandma, help, you pant. But it's no use. She continues to chant. Your face twists. Your skin flakes, forming petals. Your arms flatten against your sides. Your body gets longer and thinner. The whole time, Grandma goes on chanting. A chill runs through your mutated body. You finally realize what she's reciting. It's a nursery rhyme, all right, but with some major changes in the words. Roses are red, violets are blue. What you didn't know was the rose would be you. The end. Oh. 12 endings, you guys? We made it to 12 endings. So we normally take like a brief break like halfway through the book, like when we switch storylines. But we switch storylines like back a little bit. Wait, is it 13 or is it 12? Where are my official counters at? 12. Okay, yeah, I think it's 12. Yeah, so we usually like take a break. And I feel like we've just hit the 2-hour mark, and it's kind of yeah, and then we missed our split in the book. So I think we're gonna do a break now, so that I can like itch my face in privacy, and we'll do like 10 minutes or so. So get bathroom break, smoke break, drink break, whatever you guys need. We will do 10 minutes, and then we will come back to this, and I will play more of we were listening to Pity Party before the show started today, so we'll play more Pity Party. They're pretty cool kids. I met them. They're friends with some of my friends, and yeah, they're super cool. So sorry. Cool.
Crush my core into a lake, and my the forum a step.
BRB. music stop. Sorry, guys. I'm just...
Regret'll never be anything. See me unplaying restless. Facade will only get you so far. Now you can see that I'm faking it. I'm wrong in this. I'm over
Okay, I'm not back. But look at this cat. Sitting on my shoulder. So good. Okay, let's come back. Booger's being real weird. And so I'm not going to put my jacket back on right now because he's seeming like he's real content here on top of me. So, yeah. And it's a little warm to be wearing a jacket in the house or at all because it's summer now apparently. Okay, so we are going to go back to our last spot where we decided to climb out the window. Yeah, I'm sad that my whole like lower face makeup is gone, but I'm still itchy, so it's just gonna have to do. So just like forehead wrinkles, which I already have, so I didn't really need to draw them on. He's so weird. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, so we're gonna try hiding in the closet instead of jumping out of the window on page 82. I really don't know what he's doing back there. There's nothing back there. In here, you hiss. You, Andrew, and Sophie pile into the closet. You yank the door shut behind you, just as the bedroom door bursts open. You can hear Grandma bustling about in the room. Please don't look in the closet, you think over and over. Please don't look in the closet. Sophie has her hand over her mouth. Andrew's eyes are shut. After a few tense moments, you hear the door open and close again. You glance at Sophie and Andrew. Sophie shrugs. Andrew opens his eyes and nods. You take a deep breath and open the door. Turn to page 127. All clear. Sophie pulls out one of the shoe boxes from the closet. She's got other stuff in here too, she informs you. She holds up a wig. Andrew reaches in and pulls out a mask. It looks exactly like your mother. You feel your own real face go pale. Your own very real face go pale. Why would Grandma have something like that, you ask? Hey, look at this. Sophie holds up a pile of newspaper clippings. They're all about the meteor shower tonight. I don't get it, you wail. None of this makes any sense. Why would Grandma have those things? Why is she obsessed with the rose garden and those clippings? What is up with all of this? I think you should go ask her, Sophie suggests. Are you nuts? Andrew scoffs. We should wait until the meteor shower and see if she does something. If you guys want to follow Sophie's advice and ask Grandma what's going on, you'll choose option 1. If you'd rather wait and see what happens during the meteor shower, then we will choose option 2. And it will only take me a second to get all this loaded back up again. Maybe. Okay, we are going. Okay, please revote because I failed. It's ready to go. Choose option 1 to follow Sophie's advice and ask Grandma what's up. Or choose option 2 to wait and see what happens during the meteor shower. I would go get my jacket now, but I just found like a real comfy spot in this chair, so I'm not gonna move. We still have about 25 seconds left to vote. Choose option 1 to take Sophie's advice and ask Grandma what's up, or choose option 2 to wait and see what happens during the meteor shower. Grandma gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, I don't get like this like evil smile she keeps giving. It's weird. Okay. So we only had 4 votes now. You guys, we had like more than that going for a while. Some people must have dropped off. We are going to choose option 2. We're going to wait for the meteor shower and see what happens on page 5.
Wait and see seems like the best thing to do. But you don't want to do it here. You double check the newspaper article. Let's get back here when the meteor shower is supposed to begin, you instruct Sophie and Andrew. Then maybe we'll find out how it all ties in together. You leave a note for Grandma and head over to the park to play Frisbee. You can't help wondering what will happen. You're so distracted you miss the Frisbee every single time. At 7 p.m. sharp, you, Sophie, and Andrew creep back into the rose garden. It looks super spooky in the dark. The roses seem even larger than they did before. There's no sign of Grandma. Turn to page 15. I bet nothing will happen, you say. I'm sure there's a logical explanation for everything. Before Sophie and Andrew can answer, the ground beneath your feet begins to rumble. What's going on? Sophie cries. You glance up. Dozens of meteors shoot across the sky. They light up the night. You can see the garden clearly. And Grandma, she stands in the middle of the roses. By the light of the meteor shower, you watch Grandma reach up and pull off her face. You hear Sophie and Andrew gasp beside you. But you can't tear your eyes away. Grandma's new face oozes and bubbles. A single yellow eye blinks in the center of her forehead. Her thick, purple tail thrashes wildly. Where did the tail come from? When she took her face off, there's a tail on her face? Whatever. Surrounding her are dozens of purple pulsating eggs. The vibrations from the eggs make the ground shake. Grandma lets out a bone-chilling howl. Immediately, all of the eggs burst open. Turn to page 43. The ground shakes so violently that you, Sophie, and Andrew are thrown down. You stay low, too terrified to move. Dozens of miniature versions of the gross Grandma burst from the eggs. The purple flesh doesn't look any better baby-sized. If anything, you think the young ones are more disgusting. Grandma still hasn't seen you. All the newly hatched creatures line up in front of her. My children, she addresses them. We have traveled to this galaxy to take over the world. You know what you must do. First, feed and grow. Next, fit yourself out with human body parts. She holds up one of the rubber masks that you saw in her room earlier. And then she finishes with a hideous cackle. Go forth and carry out the master plan. You, Sophie, and Andrew all wear the same look of horror on your faces. We've got to stop them. Do you think we can fight them right here? Sophie whispers. No way. Let's go tell my parents, Andrew urges. We need help. If you guys want to try and fight the aliens, choose option 1. If you want to go tell Andrew's parents, choose option 2. Nasty baby grandmas. We got about 30 seconds left. To fight the aliens, choose option 1. Or to tell Andrew's parents, choose option 2. Six seconds left. We're going with option 1. We're fighting the aliens. Page 88. Get ready. We have to stop them now, you whisper. By the time we go help, they could be anywhere. Doing anything, Andrew adds with a shudder. But how can you stop them, you wonder? You watch the horrifying creatures, trying to think of an idea. Feed well, Grandma orders, and then we must begin. The slimy aliens swarm over the roses, munching everything in their path. Grandma strolls through the wriggling masses. You remember how she told them to feed and grow. You don't have much time. Whatever you do, it has to be fast and effective. Let's squash them, you decide, while they're all still in the garden. Brilliant, Sophie replies. How? Figure out an answer on 13. We'll throw stuff at them. You point to Grandma's window. From up there. The aliens are busy eating and don't notice you sneaking into the house. You race to Grandma's room. They're all crowded together in that corner, you cry, glancing out the window. Even Grandma. We might be able to get them all at once. Let's use this. Andrew struggles to get the mattress off the bed. You and Sophie help him drag it to the window. 1, 2. You strain to lift the mattress over the sill. 3. The mattress drops directly on top of the group of aliens. Did it work? Find out on page 9. I'm like, you're dropping something like soft on him? I don't know, man. You gaze down at the garden, holding your breath. Nothing's moving, Sophie says. No sounds, Andrew adds hopefully. You nod. Could you have done it? Did you actually destroy the aliens? You open your mouth to say something, but then your jaw drops. Dozens of wormy aliens slither out from under the mattress, and they're bigger than they were 5 minutes ago. It didn't work, you wail. Maybe the mattress was too soft, Andrew says. It wasn't heavy enough, you realize. Throw everything you can get your hands on. Frantically, you grab a chair and footstool. Out the window. Andrew and Sophie toss down Grandma's suitcases. You hurl out the stereo and the radio. They land with a crash. The radio blasts on. There's nothing left to throw, and the aliens are still swarming in the garden. Turn to page 130. You gaze down at the garden. You wonder how long it'll be before the aliens come after you. And then you notice something strange. The creatures slither easily out from under the objects you've thrown down on them. But the aliens near the radio shrivel up and fall over. The radio, you shout. It destroys them. They must be allergic to sound waves or something. Allergic to sound waves? You guys. Awesome, Andrew yells. We found a weapon. You dash into your room and get your radio. Sophie grabs your cassette player and pops in a tape. Andrew snatches the portable CD player. You race downstairs and into the garden. You aim the radio at a group of creatures. Their slimy skin puckers, turning black. They curl up. Little wisps of smoke rise from their crinkly bodies. It's working. Sophie and Andrew use the tape and the CD players in the same way. Little aliens are shriveling all around you. No! A voice bellows. Grandma! Turn to page 112. Grandma yanks the tape player out of Sophie's hands. She throws it to the ground. Andrew runs and trips, smashing the CD player. You're so scared, you drop the radio. Silence. Aliens swarm around you. Their teeth dig into your ankles. Think of something. Try anything. Maybe it wasn't sound waves that killed the creatures, you realize. Maybe it was music. You sing the first words that pop into your head. Happy birthday to you. You warble. No, Grandma shrieks again. The aliens gnawing on your ankles fall over. Andrew and Sophie figure out what you're doing, and they begin singing too. After 5 choruses of Happy Birthday, the garden is filled with dead aliens. You defeated them all, even Grandma. You, Sophie, and Andrew collapse to the ground. We did it, you exclaim. We stopped the alien invasion. Now what do we do? Sophie asks. Do we tell anyone? A broad grin spreads across your face. I think we should form a singing group. What? Andrew stares at you. A singing group. You bet, you reply. We knocked him dead. The end. Okay, I feel like this one maybe is my favorite ending of the book so far. Let's just start a singing group with lucky number 13. That can be the name of our singing group, you guys, so. Oh, that was a good one. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go back, and instead of trying to fight the aliens, we're gonna go tell Andrew's parents on page 94. I don't want to face those creatures alone, you say. Let's go get help. The three of you half crawl, half stumble out of the backyard. The moment you reach the street, you take off running. You cover the 3 blocks to Andrew's house in record time. Mom! Dad! Andrew yells as you charge through the front door. Come quick! Andrew's parents step into the hallway from the dining room. What's all the shouting? His dad asks. Aliens, you blurt. There are aliens in my backyard. Andrew's parents stare at you, and then they start to laugh. Oh no, they don't believe you. Convince them on page 102. Come see, you shriek. There are dozens of them in my backyard. Andrew, tell them. But he doesn't say a word. You turn to Sophie. Sophie, you saw them. Tell them I'm not crazy. You don't like the way they're all smiling at you, as if this was all one big joke. There are aliens trying to take over the world, you shout. Why won't you believe me? We do believe you, Andrew's mother says in a soothing tone. And then she peels off her face. So do Andrew, Sophie, and Andrew's dad. They look exactly like Grandma. This is bad. Turn to 93 to see if there's a way out. Sophie, Andrew, Andrew's parents, they're all aliens. You're the only human in the room. You're too horrified to think of running. Andrew reaches into his pocket and pulls out a squirming baby alien. He places it on your shoulder. Feed and grow, he tells it. Uh-oh. As the baby alien nibbles at your ear, you think, Mom wouldn't let me get my ears pierced. But I got my way in the... Ow! End. Okay, 14 endings, you guys. Do. How are they aliens? That's a very good question. Yeah. Like, why did they investigate that whole thing with us if they were aliens? I don't know. Okay, so we're going back to the point where Sophie told us we should ask Grandma what's up, or we could wait and see what happens during the meteor shower. So we're going to go ahead and just ask her right away on page 125. To quote Andrew, "Are you nuts? You must not read these books very often. Otherwise, you would know better. Do you actually think that Grandma will tell you why she has boxes of hands and feet? Why she has a mask that could pass for your mom? What the deal with the rose garden and the meteors? Okay, maybe she will tell you, but then what will she do? Chances are, it won't be pretty." Very, very quickly and very, very quietly turn back to 127 and make a different choice. Okay, that was our first time loop, you guys. Hello. So then that goes back to what we had before with the meteor shower. Okay, so then our next choice back is when we were snooping in Grandma's room, we chose to search the closets, but we're going to look under the bed instead on page 76. You kneel down to peer under the bed. No wonder Grandma's suitcases were so heavy, you remark. There's a lot of junk under here. Sophie and Andrew help you drag stuff out from under the bed, but you can't figure out what any of it is. Strange boxes that don't seem to open, bottles filled with strange liquids. You examine something that looks like a laptop computer. The keys have weird squiggles instead of letters. The only things you recognize are the 2 empty suitcases. What are these? Sophie asks. You shake your head. You reach for the computer-like object and freeze. Footsteps. Hide under the bed on page 66. There's barely room under the bed for all of Grandma's things and the 3 of you. But somehow you fit. You're squashing me, Sophie complains. Shh, you hiss. From under the bed, you can see Grandma's shoes enter the room. She kicks them off, and then she moves to a corner of the room you can't see. But you can hear her humming to herself. A moment later, you see a bizarre sight. You can still hear Grandma, but what you see is a long, purple, scaly tail. You're so startled, you gasp. Sophie and Andrew immediately clap their hands over your mouth. Did Grandma hear you? Turn to page 11. Out. Now, Grandma rasps. She heard you. You and your friends crawl out from under the bed. You gaze at the horrifying creature in front of you. Grandma's human face is shoved up on the top of her head as if it were a Halloween mask. In its place is an oozing blob of flesh. A single yellow eye gleams in the center. Interfering fools, the grandma creature booms. Now I will have to destroy you ahead of schedule. Before you can protest, the creature spits at you. Gross. A long, sticky strand of saliva flies out of her mouth. It attaches to your forehead and wraps around Sophie and Andrew's heads. It burns where it touches your skin. Yuck, Sophie shrieks. The creature spits over and over again. The strands are like a spider's web. Soon, you and your friends are completely encased in a sticky cocoon. You can't see a thing. You can't escape the pod, the creature informs you, and the acid in the web will eat through your flesh. You hear her leave the room. This is one sticky situation you can't get out of. So this must be the end. Oh, 15? I think that's 15 for us, you guys. I think. Okay, we go back to where we chose to spy on Grandma in her room, or to search her room, or where we can choose to spy on her in the garden. So we're going to go to the garden on 79. Let's find out what Grandma's doing in the garden, you say. Won't she notice us? Andrew asks. You gaze out the kitchen window. The treehouse, you exclaim. We can spy on her from there. Sophie slaps a high five. Great plan. You, Sophie, and Andrew dart out the door. You scurry up the tree trunk. At the top, you pull yourself onto the platform. Andrew and Sophie flop down beside you on the weathered planks. You peer down at Grandma. She moves slowly through the rows of roses, stopping at each one. Sophie fakes a yawn. Wake me when something exciting happens. Grandma kneels beside a rose bush and gently brushes soil away from the roots. Then, very carefully, she brings something up from underground. A huge purple egg. You gasp. Grandma did plant eggs in the rose garden. The large purple egg in her hand pulses as if it were breathing, as if it were getting ready to burst from its shell. Turn to page 58. Look at this, you whisper. Sophie and Andrew pop their heads over the side of the treehouse. Grandma holds up another throbbing purple egg. She puts her free hand in her mouth. When she pulls it back out, her index finger is turned lime green. A metal tip as sharp as a pin extends where her nail should be. That's not a human finger, you realize. Grandma sticks the metal tip into the pulsing egg. It throbs faster. Then it glows as if it were lit up from the inside. Satisfied, Grandma lays the egg back down on the ground, and then she moves on to the next rose bush. Soon, she makes her way through the entire garden and heads back to the house. Andrew and Sophie stare at you. I hate to say this, Andrew begins. Your grandma is... I think... Sophie tries. You nod miserably. I know, you say. My grandma is an alien. Turn to page 69. You sit in silence, too stunned to think. Shouldn't we do something? Sophie asks finally. Yes, Andrew chimes in. Let's call the police. And tell them what, you demand. There's an alien in my yard digging up purple eggs and poking them with a green fingernail, you snort. Would you believe that story? I guess not, Andrew admits. I know what we have to do, Sophie says. We have to capture your grandma. Then we'll torture her until she spills her guts. Whoa, is Sophie serious? Turn to page 114. Sophie, you stare at your friend. She grins. Just kidding. About the torture part. but I do think we should capture your grandma. A horrible thought hits you. Oh no, you gasp. If the woman in the garden is an alien, then the woman I saw at the train station must be my real grandmother. What should you do? Your real grandma's in danger, but you and your friends are in danger too. Maybe the whole world is in danger from the alien. You don't know why she's here. If you want to try and capture the alien grandma on page, choose option 1. Or if you want to try and find and rescue your real grandma, then choose option 2. I'm going to try and peek at this and see if that's a loop or not. I don't think it is yet. We got about 30 seconds left to vote. Try to capture the alien grandma. Choose option 1. To try and find and rescue your real grandmother, choose option 2. Okay, what do we got? We are going with number 2. We're going to go find our real grandma on page 51. The alien is an imposter, you exclaim. She's done something with my real grandma. We have to save her. You explain to Sophie and Andrew about seeing the other woman on the train. We have to go back to the train station. You start climbing out of the treehouse. Do you really think she'll still be there? Sophie asks. The question stops you. You cling to the tree trunk. Maybe going to the train station is a dumb idea, but it's the only idea you have. What else can we do, you demand? At least it's a place to start. You scurry the rest of the way down and land with a soft thud on the grass. Sophie and Andrew drop down beside you. The 3 of you sneak around the side of the house. No sign of Grandma. You dash across the front lawn. Crick! You glance up. Something moved in that tree. Who, or what, made that sound? Find out on page 6. Crick, you hear again. You peer up into the tree by your front gate. There's a man up there, you exclaim. Don't look up, the man in the tree orders. You, Sophie, and Andrew immediately stare down at the ground. Tell me, the man continues, is your grandma around? Your head snaps up. Do you want to see her? You demand. No, the man tells you in a hoarse whisper. I want to make sure she doesn't see me. She's in the back, you tell him. The man leaps down out of the tree. His brown eyes narrow as he studies your face. He seems to be sizing you up. 2 can play at that game, you figure. You check him out. His black hair is cut very short. He wears a torn black jeans and a black t-shirt. So who are you? Sophie blurts. Special Agent Bendry, the man says. I'm an alien investigator, and I think the 4 of us should have a chat. Should you trust this guy? Maybe he can help you. Or maybe he's another imposter. If you want to get rid of Bendry, choose option 1. If you want to spill the beans about Grandma, choose option 2. Right, why should we trust him? We don't know this guy. He could be anybody. Although, it would be a weird coincidence for him to claim that he was an alien investigator if he didn't actually know there was an alien there. Or maybe he's also an alien. There's so many options. It could be anything. He was up a tree. I trust that shit. Okay, choose option 1 to get rid of Bendry, or choose option 2 to spill the beans. Okay. We've got enough votes that everybody wants to spill the beans. So we're gonna do that on page 27. Maybe this guy can help you, you reason. But you need to be careful. After all, you brought home the wrong grandma. What do you mean you're an alien investigator, you ask? The guy grins. What does it sound like? So why did you ask about grandma, Sophie demands. Good question. You wish you had thought of it. Special Agent Bendry glances around. Because I know that woman claiming to be your grandmother is an imposter. Your mouth drops open. How do you know? Bendry's voice drops down to a low whisper. Your real grandma is my partner. Turn to page 48. My grandma is a special agent too? You're so shocked, your voice squeaks. Exactly, Bendry tells you. We've been tracking an alien who we believe has assumed your grandmother's identity. Why would anyone impersonate my grandma? Your head is spinning. Bendry shrugs. To find out how much we know? To feed us false information? It could be anything. Why is the alien here? Andrew asks. We're not sure, Bendry replies. The alien planted eggs in the rose garden here. We suspect that they're about to hatch. You shudder. Sophie's face has grown pale. Andrew looks like he's ready to throw up. I need your help, Bendry continues. We know where they've taken your grandma. The trouble is, the aliens who captured her know me. But you may be able to sneak into their headquarters. Your mouth suddenly goes dry. Me? You choke out? Or, Bendry goes on, you can keep an eye on the eggs. Both choices sound terrifying, but you have to pick one. If you want to help find grandma, choose option 1. If you want to spy on the alien eggs, choose option 2. $25 seconds left to still vote. Help find grandma. Choose option 1. To spy on the alien eggs. Choose option 2. Okay, we've got option 2. We're spying on the eggs, page 17. We'll keep an eye on the eggs for you, you tell Special Agent Bendry. He gives a sharp nod. Good. You should be safe if you act like you believe that woman is your real grandma, he assures you. Then he takes off down the street. Wait, you call after him. He never told you what you're supposed to do if the eggs hatch. But he's gone. You, Sophie, and Andrew spend the rest of the afternoon up in your room. You take turns peering down at the garden. Still nothing, Sophie grumbles. This is boring. Maybe it all ties in with the meteor shower tonight, you suggest. We'll go downstairs right before it begins. Later that evening, the three of you sneak out to the garden. Grandma is in the living room watching TV. You flick on your flashlights. Do we have our weapons, you ask? Sophie hands you 3 water guns. You fill them with bug spray. Hey, it's the best you can do on short notice. Okay, you announce. We're ready. Wait for the meteor shower to begin on page 124. I'm suspecting that this is going to be a time loop, but let's be sure. Nope, not yet. Also, where did you get enough sunscreen to fill water gun or bug spray to fill water guns? Suddenly, your flashlight blinks out. Oh no, you gasp. What's wrong with the flashlights? Look at the sky, Sophie yells. You glance up. Your mouth drops open in awe. The sky is lit up with shooting stars. Hundreds of specks of light dance in the blackness. The night becomes almost as bright as day. There must be hundreds of them, Andrew murmurs. You gaze at the dazzling sight. It's beautiful, you say, and then you glance over at the rose garden. You begin to tremble. The eggs are completely visible in the brilliant light of the meteor shower. They bounce around on the ground. You hear a low rumbling sound like a refrigerator humming. It's coming from the eggs. I think they're about to hatch, you shout. Turn to 131. Get ready, you holler. Sophie and Andrew clutch their water guns. You aim yours directly at the pulsing, humming eggs in front of you. The night sky brightens even more. With a roar, the eggs burst open. Bits of purple eggshell rain down on you. Creatures crawl out of the eggs. Each one of them is different. A striped, football-shaped creature scuttles up on you on 12 spidery legs. Your finger tightens on the trigger of your water gun. Go to page 32. Before you can shoot, the spidery creature speaks in perfect English. Thank you for rescuing us, it chirps. You're welcome, you stammer. Your grandma is an evil alien who kept us captive. The creature explains. You have released us from our prison shells. We owe you our lives. We will never leave you. Say what? Special Agent Bendry rushes out of your house. While you were keeping an eye on the eggs, we snuck in and captured Grandma, he tells you. She's in custody now. Thanks for your help, he dashes off. Wait, you call after him. Too late, he's gone. You never got to ask him one very important question. How are you going to explain the dozens of alien house guests to your parents? Well, your mom is always telling you to make more friends. The end. Oh, man. Okay, where are we at? Is that 15? Are we at 15? Who's keeping track? I don't know. Wait, somebody said 14 before. I think we're on 15. Wait, why are you saying 16? I don't see a 15, you guys. I'm going back up. Dude, you guys have no idea. This is only 15. I saw 13, I saw 14, and then nothing. This is 15 endings and one time loop. Yes. Okay, so we are gonna go back with Bendry, and we are gonna help find Grandma instead of spying on the alien eggs. Page 20. I want to help find my real grandma, you declare. Good choice, kid. Bendry smiles at you. Come on. He leads you through town. In a few minutes, you, Sophie, Andrew, and Special Agent Bendry stand outside an abandoned rail yard. One train car sits alone in the back of the yard. The aliens dragged your grandma into that last train car, Bendry explains. Then they unhooked the car from the one in front of it and brought it here. You gaze at the nearly empty train yard. You shiver. Just being here gives you the creeps. Knowing aliens are inside that train car make your knees wobble with fear. Okay, I'm pausing. I don't see... You say we found 15, but nobody said 15. So how do we know? Oh, somebody did say 15. Never mind. Okay, 16. 16. I found it. It only took 3 scrolls through for me to figure it out. Okay, that was 16. Thank you guys for helping. Let's go, Bendry leads you, Sophie and Andrew, to a small opening in the fence. You crawl through and sneak towards a train car. The sun is setting, throwing weird shadows. Your heart pounds so hard, you're afraid the aliens inside might hear it. Suddenly, the night sky brightens. The meteor shower, Sophie gasps. Oh no, Bendry exclaims. Why is he upset about the meteor shower, you wonder? Turn to page 42. You glance at Bendry. Your mouth drops open in horror. By the bright light of the meteor rays, you can clearly see Special Agent Bendry. He's transforming in front of you. Stalks shoot out from his face. Clusters of eyeballs dangle from the stalks. His head becomes a massive skull as his human skin slithers off and drips to the ground. No, Sophie shrieks. You're too terrified to make a sound or to run. 3 creatures exactly like Bendry burst through the train car door. They quickly drag you and your friends inside. Sorry, Bendry apologizes to the other creatures. I tried to get back before the meteors hit, but these kids delayed me. No problem, one of the gross creatures responds. We know just how to handle them, it grins. When Special Agent Bendry told you he was an alien investigator, he didn't mean he investigated aliens. He meant he was an alien who investigated. Too bad you didn't investigate his story, because now it's about to come to a gruesome end. Oh. Okay, so now that was 17 for real. Okay. We are gonna go back, and now we feel like maybe we shouldn't trust Bendry. Let's try and get rid of him. Oh. Page 19. Alien investigator? Great joke. You force a laugh. Isn't that funny, guys? You turn to Sophie and Andrew, hoping they get what you're doing. Total laugh riot, Sophie guffaws. Had me in stitches, Andrew adds. Listen, you say to Bendry. We have an appointment. We don't have time for games. You march briskly down the walk. You'll be sorry, Bendry calls after you. You really could use my help. You ignore him. You hurry down the street. Sophie and Andrew are on your heels. Are you sure? Andrew begins. You glare at him and he shuts up. Of course you're not sure, you think. But you didn't trust that special agent guy. You just hope you don't regret refusing to speak to him. Turn to page 25. Finally, you, Sophie, and Andrew arrive at the train station. The place is deserted. Your footsteps echo in the stillness as you trudge down the platform and into the station. Even the...
Rock's constituent substances
Oh, no!
are mineral and mineral.
My little echo thing is like, I don't know what it's doing over there. But it thinks I was talking to it. Even the information booth is closed. Now what? Sophie asks. I'm thinking, you snap. Andrew starts rubbing his head. Good. That means his brain is working. Maybe he'll figure out what to do. You glance up and down the platform. A light in the distance begins getting larger. The platform begins to rumble. Train coming in. The train gives you an idea. You'll ask the conductor for a train schedule. Then maybe you can figure out where Grandma's train was heading. You explain your plan to Sophie and Andrew. Whatever. Sophie shrugs her shoulders. You can tell she doesn't think it's much of a plan. The train roars into the station. Now that's strange, you think. No one is getting on, and no one is getting off. Turn to page 39. Let's get on board, you say. We'll track down a conductor. You, Sophie, and Andrew board the train. You slide open the door and enter the first car. And stop. A chill of horror runs along your spine. Your fingers tremble with fear. They're... Andrew stammers. Ghosts, you whisper. The train car is filled with shimmering figures, each more horrifying than the last. Heads float by without bodies. Bodies float by without heads. Skeletons move up and down the aisle. Wispy, cloudy girls and boys hover a few inches off the ground. You reach for the door handle. It won't budge, and the train begins to move. We're trapped, you shriek. If only you had stayed home and listened to Special Agent Bendry. Because compared to these ghouls, an alien is nothing. And now you're stuck in this train going nowhere. That's it. Nowhere you want to go. Let's put it this way. Now that you're on the ghost train, this adventure has definitely come to the end. So that's 18 endings. Okay. Yeah, Ghost Train is like kind of cool. I kind of wish we could like go further down like the Ghost Train storyline, like if something would happen. But okay, so we decided to find and rescue our real grandmother, but before that, or we're gonna try and capture alien grandma instead on 73. I can turn the page. Ooh. Okay. We better try to capture the alien, you decide. It's the only way we'll be able to get someone to believe us. And help us, Andrew adds with a shudder. But how? There are 3 of us and only 1 alien, Sophie points out. Maybe we can knock her out and lock her up. It's the best idea anyone can come up with. You 2 hide in the garage, you instruct your friends. I'll find some way to lure Grandma there. Then you'll jump her. That way, we have surprise on our side. Sounds good, Andrew says. Sophie nods in agreement. The 3 of you rush to the garage. You drum your fingers on the door, trying to think of a way to get Grandma to follow the plan. What would attract Grandma's attention, you wonder? And then it hits you. The roses! Of course she'll come running if someone threatens her precious roses. You grab the garden hose and turn it on full blast. And then you drag the spurting hose out to the rose garden. You shove it into a large bush. Water sprays everywhere. Grandma, you shout, come quick, the roses are drowning. Will Grandma fall for your plan? Find out on page 16. Grandma, you call louder again, the roses. Grandma dashes towards you. She spots the hose and yanks it out of the bush. It gushes water. We have to turn it off in the garage, you tell her. And I don't think I'm strong enough. Grandma eyes you suspiciously. She murmurs. But she heads for the garage. You follow right behind her with your fingers crossed. Grandma enters the dark garage. You hold your breath. Yeah! Sophie shrieks and leaps down from the stack of cartons. She lands right on top of Grandma. Andrew hurls himself into the struggling pair. Sophie squeezes out from under Grandma and Andrew. Andrew wraps Grandma in your badminton net as they roll over and over and over. You rush over. You and Sophie hold Grandma as Andrew wriggles out of the net. Grandma stops struggling. You never would have gotten away with this if it weren't for this dinky human disguise, she snarls. You humans are so weak. Oh, man. Okay, I like that they threw the the Scooby-Doo reference in there. You drape your bicycle chain around her and snap the lock shut. But we got the best of you, you retort. Turn to page 36. What did it say? 36. You, Sophie, and Andrew run out of the garage. We did it, Sophie cries. We actually captured an alien. We'll be heroes, Andrew crows. But you can't join in the celebration. You've just thought of something terrifying. Sophie and Andrew dance around on the lawn. Then they notice your face. What's wrong with you? Andrew demands. We had a great plan and it worked perfectly. We got the alien. Yes, we did, you say slowly. But there are still all of those. You point to the rose garden. The rose garden filled with purple, pulsing eggs. Grandma called the roses her babies, you explain. Those must be her alien children, and I think they're about to hatch. Sophie gasps. If they hatch, we'll be totally outnumbered. Should we call the authorities right now? You ask them, or do we figure out something to do with the eggs? Andrew and Sophie didn't say a word. They just stare at you. So it's up to you. If you want to call the authorities, choose option 1. If you want to deal with the eggs yourself, choose option 2. I agree, the action scenes are real good in this one. What was the one that I really didn't like? I think that was the TikTok You're Dead. Was that the one?
That's the first one, right? Oh, that's number 2.
Oh, Escape from the Carnival of Horrors. Just every time you turned around, it was just like, you're in a totally black room. That was like way not exciting. This one is exciting. This is a pretty good one, you guys. Okay. I'm going to close the poll because everybody voted for option 2. We're going to deal with those eggs. Page 115. We better do something about the eggs, you decide. I think Grandma will stay put for a while. You, Sophie, and Andrew approach the rose garden. Dozens of large purple eggs lay scattered on the ground. They're not pulsing or glowing anymore. What do you think they are? Sophie whispers. I don't know, you admit. They could be alien food, or alien flower bulbs, or little alien monsters waiting to hatch, Andrew adds. You glare at him. Thanks for pointing that out. You gaze back at the rows of roses, wondering what to do. And you can't help noticing that it's getting dark. What if we stick them in the fridge? Andrew tugs at his messy hair. It would be too cold for them to hatch. And then we can have them analyzed at the lab tomorrow? Or maybe we should squash them. You know it sounds harsh, but it might be the safest thing to do. Which is it going to be? Squash the eggs or refrigerate them? Choose option 1 to squash the eggs. Choose option 2 to refrigerate the eggs. I just feel like, one, if the eggs are about ready to hatch, then there's just like a fully formed whatever inside of it. So like, I don't know that you really could just like squash it, because they're not like, it's not like a raw, like a brand new egg that would be all liquidy, you know. And then if you were to try and refrigerate them, it says there's like dozens of large eggs. So like how big are they? See, exactly. I don't know that you could fit them in the fridge. If there's dozens of them. Maybe by large they're just like larger than like a normal egg. But I don't know. I also had the impression that those eggs were like, you know, like bigger than my head. So I feel like it might be hard, but we're going to try and refrigerate them, so I guess we will find out. On page 56. Refrigeration is the way to go, you decide. You, Sophie, and Andrew gather up the eggs. It takes you each 3 trips to get them all into the house. By eating the leftover plate of chicken, throwing out the Brussels sprouts, rearranging the milk and juice, you manage to fit all the eggs into the refrigerator. By the time you're done, it's dark outside. Guys, you say, to Sophie and Andrew. Not that I'm scared or anything, but would you mind sleeping over? They must understand how you're feeling. They don't even tease you. They just exchange a nervous look and say yes. The next morning, the sun streams through your bedroom window. You stretch, wiggling your toes and fingers, and then you freeze. Your heart pounds hard in your chest. Noises downstairs. Turn to page 60. You leap out of bed, trying to avoid stepping on Sophie and Andrew in their sleeping bags. Wake up, you whisper. There's something moving around downstairs. Sophie's eyes widen. Grandma! The eggs, Andrew gulps. You, Sophie, and Andrew sneak downstairs. You huddle outside the kitchen door. On 3, you instruct them. 1, 2. Your voice shakes with fear. You gulp. 3. With a shout, the 3 of you charge into the kitchen. Who's there? Turn to page 90. You tear across the linoleum and smash right into your mom. She shrieks and drops a plate of scrambled eggs. Your dad jumps up from the table, scattering his newspaper. Mom! Dad! What are you doing here? You demand. I got an emergency call from work, Mom explains, coming up cleaning up the mess. That's what I told you on the phone at the train station, remember? So we cut our trip short. We just got in half an hour ago. We didn't want to wake you. Where's Grandma? You sneak a peek at Sophie and Andrew. I guess she's still sleeping, you mumble. Well, it might be true, even if she is sleeping in the garage. Sit down, kids, your mom commands. I made a huge breakfast. Excellent. You, Sophie, and Andrew wolf down 3 big plates of scrambled eggs. Even your dad, who usually only has coffee in the morning, manages to finish a second helping. Funny, he says, I can't stop eating these eggs. You suddenly have trouble swallowing. Yo, the eggs. Turn to page 109. Mom, you ask, where did you get these eggs? You weren't happy when you hear the answer. From the refrigerator, silly, she tells you. She scoops up another forkful. Did you buy them? They weren't there when we left. You gaze at Sophie and Andrew, and then you stare down at your plate of food. Were they, kind of unusual looking, you ask your mom? Come to think of it, they were rather large, she thinks for a moment. And a strange color. Your stomach does a flip-flop. You've been eating the alien eggs. Have you ever heard the expression, you are what you eat? You're about to find out how true that really is. The end. Ugh. Okay, I liked this ending too. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I feel like this book leaves a lot of like open endings where like we it would be really cool to see what happens further on. Like it's not really an ending, it just says the end, but like it didn't end. So I guess instead of refrigerating the eggs, maybe we should try and squash them, because we don't want to eat them. Page 126. You're probably right, Sophie says. We should destroy the eggs. Yeah, Andrew agrees. Better safe than sorry, I guess. Do you think stepping on them will work? Sophie asked. They look awfully big and sturdy. One way to find out. You stride towards one of the eggs, lift your foot up, and bring it down hard. Kaboom! Whoops. Guess you didn't notice that little purple landmines mixed in with the purple alien eggs. Grandma placed them in the garden to protect her babies. Oh well. Better luck next mine. The end. Next mine. Not next time. That was a bad pun. I don't like that ending. That was 20 endings, but I hate it, so whatever. Okay, I guess instead of dealing with the eggs on our own, we are going to attempt to call the authorities on page 49. Okay, the eggs can wait, you decide. We don't know how long that badminton net will hold Grandma. We should turn her over to the authorities before we do anything else. You, Sophie, and Andrew head back into the house. You grab the phone in the kitchen. You pause, uncertain. Who do I call, you ask. No alien hotline in the phone book, huh? Sophie jokes. Sophie is great. You're right. My mom says to call 911 if there's an emergency, Andrew suggests. An alien in the garage qualifies as an emergency, you declare. You punch in the numbers. Unfortunately, the emergency operator doesn't believe you. When she stops laughing, she scolds you for tying up the line. Someone could be trying to phone in with a real emergency, she reprimands. This is a real emergency, you insist. But it's too late. She's already hung up. You slam down the phone. Now what, you mutter. Turn to page 22. You don't know what to do next, so you sit at the kitchen table and scarf down a few brownies. Then you glance out the window and notice someone sneaking around your garage. Come on, you shout. You dash out the door. Andrew and Sophie follow on your heels, but you're too late. The guy has already disappeared into the garage. You charge through the door and gasp. Grandma has transformed. She's covered in green scales and has sprouted 7 arms and 3 heads. All 3 heads are smiling into the intruder's video camera. What's going on, you demand? I'm interviewing your grandma, the guy explains. She'll be a great story. Cookie, Grandma scolds. You're in the way. You'll block my best angle. Best angle? With 3 heads, there are plenty of angles to choose from. Turn to 24. Your grandma was telling me all about her home planet, the reporter tells you. I'm so sorry I had to frighten you, dear, she tells you, but I really needed the publicity for my new movie. Huh? Seeing your confused look, all of Grandma's heads laugh. Everyone knows you've got to come to Earth to get your big break, she explains. Lots of celebrities do it. But, you sputter, what about the eggs in the rose garden? What about the fight we had when we captured you? That's easy, Grandma scoffs. The eggs were a dandy lunch. And the fight? Well, she shrugs. I'm afraid I staged it. It was this young man's idea. She nods, one head at the reporter. He thought it'd make a good lead-in. So, Cookie, what do you think of your grandma now? Your head swims. My grandma? Are you saying that I'm an alien just like you? You feel faint just asking the question. Grandma's answer is on page 122. Well, what are you waiting for? Turn to the page. 122. Hold it, the reporter yelps. I've got to change tapes. No way I'm going to miss the story of the century. Shut up, you shout. You notice Andrew and Sophie hanging back in the doorway. Their eyes are wide open, staring at you. It's a lie, you yell at them. Cookie, how can you say that? Of course it's true. Grandma holds out her 7 arms to hug you. This is great stuff, the reporter cheers. Child discovers alien identity. Alien confesses all. I see a promotion for me. At least somebody is happy here, you think? Cheer up. 7 arms could come in handy. And maybe, if Grandma's movie's a big hit, she'll let you be her manager. The end. Why would you manage your alien grandma? Like, she's got to know more about the biz than you do. Oh, 21 endings, you guys. Okay. So now we're going back to your grandma was in the garden and Sophie thought she looked cool and wanted to be introduced, and we decided to spy on her first, but we're going to introduce Andrew and Sophie to Grandma on 84. We already did the mines. It blew us up, so that's a different storyline now. Stop being ridiculous, you scold yourself. What's the deal about the silver jumpsuit? Your own mother wears mismatched socks and goofy hats. Come on, you tell Andrew and Sophie. I'll introduce you. The 3 of you stroll across the backyard to the rose garden. The flowers are unusually large and have a strong odor, almost sickeningly sweet. I've never seen roses that color before, Andrew says. Come to think of it, neither have you. Blue roses? Striped roses? This is one weird rose garden. Dude, this is like in his backyard. Like, how has he never seen these? Grandma stands as she sees you approaching. Oh, goody, she gushes. I enjoy meeting new people. Cool flowers, Sophie compliments Grandma. Thank you, dear, Grandma says. Why don't you take a closer look? You, Sophie, and Andrew wander into the thicket of rose bushes. Some of them are so large they tower over you. You gaze as a bright green rose. Whoa, is that a pair of eyes staring back at you? Gasp and turn to page 103. The eyes on the rose blink at you. Sophie, Andrew, you choke out. Run! But your wandering comes too late. Long green tendrils wrap themselves around you and your friends. It's a time loop. We finally made another one. That was, I expected a lot more of those at this point. Like, I feel like we're almost done with the book, and that's our second time loop, you guys. Okay, what else do we got going on in here? Okay, so now we're back to the train station where we said we knew what the phrase written on the window was with the backwards help me. And so if we needed help to figure it out, we go to 129. I feel like this is going to end real fast. Do you know what emple means? You ask Grandma. Emple, she repeats. No, I've never heard that word before. Why do you ask? I saw it written in that train window. You turn and point back to the train car. I think it's some kind of message. Grandma grabs your hand and links her arm through yours. My, she coos. You have such an imagination. Is Grandma walking faster? Or is that your imagination too? It's wonderful to see you after so long, she gushes, hurrying down the platform. And I can't wait to see your mother's lovely rose garden. Yeah, right, you murmur. You're still trying to figure out what empleh means. You snap your fingers. I know what it means, you cry. Turn to page 31. Empleh, you tell Grandma excitedly. It's help me, spelled backwards. Grandma stares at you. Grandma, you tug at her sleeve. We have to go back. Someone on the train needs our help. Oh, Cookie, she sighs. I didn't want to have to do this to you so soon, but you gave me no choice. I can't allow you to interfere with my mission. Grandma pulls a small laser device from her pocket. She points it at you. Zap. Take me to your mother's rose garden, she orders. You can't resist. You lurch forward and climb into a cab like a zombie. As soon as you arrive at your house, Grandma races to the rose garden. My eggs, she cries. My babies are ready to hatch. You stand by watching helplessly as Grandma digs up hundreds of alien eggs. Turn to page 45. Alien babies burst from the purple shells. They crawl everywhere, oozing yellow slime. Grandma dances around crazily. My plans to take over the universe will now come true, Grandma cries. My babies will be my army. No one will be able to stop us. One little alien baby slithers over to you. It slides across your foot. It glances up, and all 5 of its eyes gaze at you. It squeaks. Hey, it's kind of cute. You pick it up, and it makes a sound like a cat purring. Oh well, if aliens are going to rule Worth, it would probably be a good idea to have at least one alien on your side. Maybe then you won't come to such a terrifying end. Oh. Okay, Alien Babies was okay. So that was 22 endings. So we're back to the very first choice in the book, which was after you get off the phone call at the train station with your mom, and then everything starts shaking, and you had the choice to run away from the train station or to stay and find your grandma. And we chose to stay. So we're going to run away from the train station on page 12. The station rattles and shakes around you. Your hands clutch the information counter so tightly, your fingers cramp. A framed picture on the wall behind the clerk crashes to the floor. Get me out of here! You spin and dash out of the station. Your heart pounds and your breath comes in gasps as you race along the sidewalk. Whoops! Too bad you weren't looking where you were going. Otherwise, you would have seen the garbage truck before you landed in the middle of the gunk, the goo, and the gross slime. Ew! Hold your nose and close the book quickly. You stink. You've come to a very smelly end. That's it. 23 endings, 2 time loops, Secret Agent Grandma. We did it, you guys. It was a little shorter this time. I feel like the very first one we did was like 3 hours, but I feel like I didn't keep track of all of the paths very well in that one. So, but all the other ones have been like a solid 4 hours. So this one we're only at 3.5. Yeah, this was a good book. This is definitely one of the better ones we have read so far. I like it. Oh, sad it's over. Oh, it is over. Let's see. We got a few more. Should we like vote on which one to do? Should I just pick one? Do you guys remember any of the other ones without me listing them? And we can just pick from that. I'm so glad that you guys like are having fun playing along with me with this. It's lots of fun for me too. Anybody remember some names of the books? I know. I was just thinking the same thing, that I was like, before I like log off, I'm going to take these down. I didn't really get my hair wet. I only got it just a little wet before I put these in, just to kind of keep it in spot. So I don't know if it'll actually be curly or not. But I was planning on taking them out on camera so we can see what it looks like too. So what book? You guys, I'll start taking them down. I had to, like, once I rolled them and clipped them in, I also had to, like, put bobby pins in to, like, hold them in place, or they would have just, like, fallen out, I think. So this is, like, a whole thing. Oh, man. That is, like, it curled. I just put the back of my hair in one because I ran out of things. So, like, they're all focused up here. Then the whole, I just have, like, this ponytail. But I think it did kind of curl a little bit or something. I don't know. Yeah. What book are we going to read next, you guys? Nobody remembers the names of any of them? I forgot the titles. Batwing, right? So that's what I was kind of waiting to see, you guys, because that's the main one I remember too, is the Trapped in Batwing Hall. Well, I'm not sure that orienting them this way was like the right choice, because now I just have like this like curl up here on the top of my head. Okay. I did not do any research here before putting these in. I was just like, I'm out of time. I just kind of like rolled them up. So, let's get these out of here. It's gonna be so fun. Okay. Boop. Hello, baby girl. I hear you. I don't see you. Okay. Oh, ouch. Yeah, so I remember we have Trapped in Batwing Hall. We've got Knight in Screaming Armor. It's like something about a genie. I think it's like Curse of the Evil Genie or something. Let's see. Oh, Scream of the Evil Genie. And oh, The Curse of the Creeping Coffin. And then Night in Werewolf Woods. And I think that's all of them. That's all the options. So, oh man, look at them. Okay. Oh, look at my hair, you guys. This is hilarious. Oh, crazy genie makeup. It looks real weird with like the lines on my head, and I look like I have like one of those like a founding fathers like hair like wig thing. So I guess let's see what happens if I just kind of. Oh, look at me. I feel like the bangs maybe I should have curled them the other way. Maybe they should go down instead of up. Can you see it all, you guys? Oh man, if we like I guess if I wanted to do those like giant 80s bangs, I would do this and then like rat them out or something. This is like not great. It looks extra weird because of my roots situation too. So it just looks like it's like floating on my head. So I guess you guys can see. I don't know what the back looks like, but you guys can see what the back looks like. It's not great. It's not a good look. Oh, I love that I just like curled my bangs right up over my head. They just stand right up. I mean, I guess when people use these kind of rollers, like if I had short hair and I used more of them, and I was, because like I feel like that people use these to get just like the old lady bouffant, you know? So I feel like they would serve that purpose if I were to have slightly shorter hair, or I could like turn it into big 80s hair or whatever. Okay, we want to go with the genie one. Let's see. Okay, so Scream of the Evil Genie. It's like a misty do. It says, as usual, it was a pretty long day at school. So before you do your homework, you decide to grab a soda. But when you open the can, out pops a genie who offers you 3 wishes. She seems pretty cool, so you accept. Ooh, I like that it's a girl genie. You start out with an easy one, like wishing to be gorgeous. She turns you into something that everyone wants to see. But that something isn't exactly human. If you still think she's cool and wish to be rich, you'll definitely find out the hard way that money isn't everything. Will you get back to normal before you're all wished up? The choice is yours in this scary Goosebumps adventure that's packed with over 20 super spooky endings. So, there we go, you guys. We're the Scream of the Evil Genie. Okay, so who wants to see my adorable family photos back there, you guys? I'm like, can I just like rub the rest of this off my face because I don't like the way it looks. Okay, let's see if I can unhook this thing. I've got like 1,000 cords running here because I got this mic headset thing, so I might destroy the audio in attempting to do this. So I'm sorry if you can't hear me after this. Built-in microphone. Okay, can you hear me again? You can probably hear me again. Okay. So, let's see what we got here. So here's mom. Which way do I go? Here's my mom and baby me. Yep, there's a little tiny me. Here's a hand-colored portrait of my mom from 1967. Here is adorable me again. I don't know what year that was. I was probably like, I don't know, 4? Maybe? I feel like there was another one that I knew from my age. How old I was. Here's my first communion photo. Can you guys see it? Hang on, this might be easier for me to just like take them down and hold them up. Oh, you kind of see it? That one's kind of hard to see. My first communion. This other one is like somebody's wedding. I don't even know whose wedding this is. But my grandma is right here, and then my mom is up here. So I don't know who any of those other people are at all. And then this was, let's see, there's a picture of my mom, one of like her high school photos with her braces and stuff, like the 80s. I don't know what year. Get off my butt, Banks. And then, whoop. This one is a really great photo. Oh yeah, this is the one that I know how old my mom was in it. So this one is my Uncle David's 4th birthday. So there's my Uncle David in the middle. So then my mom is over here, so she would have been 3 at the time. And then my Aunt Kim, and my Aunt Marcia, and then my Uncle Gene. So it's all my aunts and uncles. And then here's some more adorable pictures of me and my sister. Look how cute we were. Look at the little babies. Oh, here's one of my mom.
We're so cute. And then here's the last one. Look at my bangs, though. Look at that rockin' hairstyle. Oh, man. What is Marsha's hair? Yeah. So, this hairstyle is brought to you by the year. I wonder if it's written on the back. I'm going to guess that this is 1994. But, let's see if it's written. Oh, no, but I think there's another picture behind it. Oh, it's another one of this one. You guys. Oh, yeah, apparently this portrait was given to Aunt Stell with love. Amanda, age 7, Ivy Lee, age 2, and Julie, age 33. So, wow. So here's my 32-year-old face, and here's my mom's 33-year-old face. Weird. Weird. You guys. Oh, I'm so excited that this little guy was hidden in there. I had no idea. Look up here, you can see little baby me up close. Look at me. I was not that cute. Way cuter now. This is my mom at 26 years old. So, there's everything. You guys are welcome. I got more. Do you guys want to see more pictures of me? Me. Not as a grumpy baby, but as like a teenager or whatever. I don't know. I got one real good one. I'll show you guys one real good one here. It's real tiny, but okay, here's my bag of pictures. So, I'll show you two. Oh, look at my terrible buck teeth, you guys. Look at this. This was not a good look. That was like my homely years. Look at my ears. I'm glad I grew into them. I'm just gonna go through. There's so many cute ones. Look, that's so cute. Look at me. Look how cute. Oh, you guys get to see all the secret senior portraits that I don't readily distribute. So here's Amanda, 2005. I hated this outfit, but my mom made me pick one. Here, look at me, all normal looking. And then here's the ones I actually liked, where I was like, yeah, I'm a badass. This one like middle school photo of me that's kind of trashed, but it's kind of great anyway. Was I wearing that same shirt? I think I was, but I grew into it in the other one. Okay, so get this, you guys. This is the best. This is the best one. This is me and my friend Natalie. She was like my best friend in high school, and I was just like a wannabe goth kid. I had like one like goth outfit, and this is it. Yep. So that was me. I like also, it's kind of hard to tell because it's gonna be all blurry, but I had like braided my hair and then took out all the braids, so it was like crimped. Yeah. I mean, it looked better than this, but if I like side swoop, I can't figure out. Yeah. Okay, that's better. I guess it's not good. Okay, that's it. I'm not pulling any more. I don't think I'm pulling more archives tonight. Nope, nothing else of immediate interest. Nope, that's it. We're done. Love you guys. So, yeah, I'm gonna pull my hair back into a ponytail and go to bed instead of rocking this deal. You had a temporary tattoo on your face in your senior picture? Oh, that's so good. What? You like the do? I thought, I still just like can't get over these projectile bangs, but what about Jeannie? You're kind of late to the conversation. Grandma chic. Yeah. I feel like if I didn't have all these roots growing in, this would look significantly better. But you know, it, it takes time to learn. We'll try some different techniques next time. I don't know. A ladybug tattoo. Yes, we have officially decided that next week is the scream of the evil genie. So that is it. See you guys next week. Same Goosebumps time, same Goosebumps place. Peace out.